Hey. We have, as Ultra Mercury is noting, we have a little bit of chaos. So we're working on it. Okay, match 24. How is everybody? Did that fix it or make it worse? Sorry, I'm dealing with some tournament admin stuff. Okay. Hot Fire Potato, if you're still in the chat, in the YouTube chat, let me know if your game, if you, well, you and I talked about if your game's working. If you guys ended up in a lobby after all. And then Long Boy and Wanky to Stanky, and then Mercury and Hot Fiery Potato should fight. We should have no more buy rounds for this, the tournament. Alright. I can focus on you all in just a second. Okay. Okay, I'm here. Paying attention. What's happening? Hey, Ashkaf. You're waiting for your first... You're waiting for your first fight. Sorry about the delays. Loading up on the first game now. Okay. Okay. Sounds good, dude. Sounds good. Get through it as best you can. Anyway, if you haven't been a part of one of these streams before, this is our new player tournament. We do have a Swiss stage for 4 rounds, so everybody gets 4 games. Some people have bye rounds. Some people had to leave early. You could fight Long Boy. Yeah, you could, if you wanted to. If you're just looking to kill time. Anyway. Yeah, we have 4 Swiss rounds. Then after those, we'll just go with whoever has the most points in the Swiss round. We'll do a quick little final and get it all out of the way. Sound good? Oh boy, that is a game to start on. Oh boy, that one has Gotrek. Even though Gotrek and Felix are both banned in tonight's tournament, so that's a cool start. It's been a bit of a mess today. It's been a bit of a mess. Just troubles and drama through the whole tournament. We're 1 round in. What the F? It didn't work? Happy birthday, human boy. It's not my birthday. Could you give me a special build for your birthday? What kind of special build? What are we talking about? What's happening? Alright, pay attention to the chat. What up? And tell you, bitch. How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, we're just dealing with some stuff. Hot Fire Potato can't connect to Wanky to Stanky, so I'm just telling them to move on to round 2. Okay. Yeah, So while the Swiss League gets going, we'll just cast replays from it that people are sending to me until we get caught up to finals and semifinals and stuff. But we'll just cast some games between some new players. And yeah. I guess we'll start off with whatever unholy abomination this is. Galroch versus Foryx. Beastmen versus Vampire Counts. And that is the strat game famous double Gorgon Jabber, except now we have the new and improved Jabber of the Incarnate Elemental Beasts. This was also for Patreon because reasons. It's true. It's true, you and I had discussed that. But it is not my birthday. My birthday is in a month and a half, actually. A lot closer than I thought. But not yet. Okay. Galroch with a Beastman build. It is a monster mash. Vampire Counts are weak to monster mash, even though they're usually considered the blob faction. They don't have halberd units. And they don't have really good anti-large armor-piercing cavalry. They don't have really good anti-large monsters. They don't have anything to deal with large stuff, so a pretty decent way to take them out is to just blob on them with big things like the Shredder of Lestria and some healing, or Incarnate Elemental Beasts, Double Gorgon. We also have a Great British Shipment of Wild with Traderkin, and then some Ungor Spearman herds, a couple Centaurs with throwing axes, and basic Centaurs too for the Beastmen. It's your birthday today, Great Book of Grudges. Is this the first match? Yes, it is. Well, happy birthday, Mr. Grudges. On the other side for the Vampire Counts, we do have 5 Graveguard, 4 of which have great weapons. 1 is the ROR. We have the Dire Pack, 3 Crypt Horrors, 2 Cairn Wraiths, a Necromancer on his corpse card, and Heinrich Kemmler with Krell. And then a Zombie Summon Invocation of Heck. Krell can do okay versus these big boys if they sit next to him and fight, but if they notice that he gets summoned, they can back off and go anywhere else and try and avoid him. Centaurs dive onto Heinrich Kemmler. Kemmler's usually pretty tanky with his Tomb Blade, but it doesn't look like he actually brought the Chaos Tomb Blade, so he has less healing than usual, and he is getting torn apart by these Centaurs. He needs a zombie summon at his feet. It looks like instead he throws out Krell. Krell will deal some good damage there. Sternsmen and zombies running forward to fight these Ungor Spearman herds, and they should win, but I see this a ton with the Vampire Counts, and I hate it. Never, never, never stack your zombies and then other infantry, because the other infantry are stuck almost entirely behind the zombies, and they can't actually get into the actions. They're just standing around doing nothing. I hate it. It is the #1 mistake that Vampire Counts players make, and it is a doozy. So the zombies are dying, slowly allowing the secondary infantry to get to the front line, but it might be too little and too late for them as Graveguard and Crypt Horrors pile up onto the Incarnate that is draining down everybody in this area as it fights and tears apart the Crypt Horrors, though it is taking some damage of its own, so it's not really getting away with it for free. Graveguard still waiting their turn to get at these Ungor Spearman herds, who are already starting to tear out away from some of the Cairn Wraiths. We do have an Invocation to Heck. I heard it over here. It is onto these Crypt Horrors who are dying. Centaur's going for a rear charge. Krell hops over to help out a little bit, and Kemmler is down to half HP. You can obviously heal that up, and the Vampire Counts are holding steady on the bounce power for now, though it looks pretty favored for the Beastmen. I guess a lot of their front line is routing, and that is a bit of a problem, because you don't really want these Gorgons and Jabbers in the... Sorry, I'm so used to saying the double Gorgon Jabber. Incarnate Elemental Beasts just standing in chaff. They usually want their own support of at least a little bit. And the Centaurs are running out of health too, so soon it will be just the single entities versus these Vampire Counts. And then maybe all of the Vampire Counts' forces can drag these guys down. It is possible. The Incarnate doesn't have any healing whatsoever, and he's missing about a third of his HP, a little bit more than that. Why can't I play in the newbie tourney? Because you already won one, you're not a newbie. Shush. Overcast Traderkin hits everything in this little blob. That'll do a lot of damage, except to Krell, which, you know, no one cares if you hurt Krell. He'll eventually just disappear in his own right. Have some more messages. Is there anybody else needing a match in the second round? Mercury's power went out. That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Just adding further drama to this weirdly cursed tournament. We've hosted 40 of these, and this one is particularly cursed. As everybody Everybody's fucking dropping. The Incarnate Elemental Beast is walking around with a giant pile of people who are getting Flock of Doom Mortis Engined as they follow him around. When you're dealing with a Mortis Engine type unit, you usually have to separate out as much as possible and feed into him one at a time so that he doesn't drain all of you at the same time. As for Lowry versus Mercury, dude, I don't know. I think Longboy and Wanky to Stanky are already fighting. So I don't really know how to get another opponent in here. Yeah. Z-Kind, if you're in the YouTube chat, I think you just get a buy round. Perhaps it's cursed because I'm not in it? I guess. Dude, I guess. I don't know. We've already had 2 people drop from the tournament. One because they had a tabletop RPG rescheduled to tonight. And then another one because their power allegedly went out. And then we had total tavern issues. And then we had connectivity issues between some people in round 1. It's just been it's been a fucking night, apparently. Anyway, as for the game in front of us, it is what we all predicted. The Mortis Engine of the Incarnate Elemental Beast is doing triple Omega overtime as it drains down the entire Vampire Count's force. The double Gorgons are both very healthy and healing up, and they continue to charge through the Vampire Counts. This is generally why I consider Vampire Counts to be a weak faction right now, is they don't have good cavalry, they don't have good infantry, and they just rely on healing. But when everybody else can heal just about as good as you, if not better, then you do get outclassed in some other areas. Their monsters just don't hold up to the current standard of monsters. I'm going to triple fast forward. The writing is on the wall at this point. There's nothing the Vampire Counts can do. They've lost everything of significance besides Kemmler, but the monsters are continuing to plow through their infantry. And the Mortis Engine effect is still on. GG. It was a sign? Sign of what? Of what? For Galraj, 2,900 on his Incarnate Elemental Beast, 2,200 on his Trader King Caster. Centaurs with Throwing Axes and basic Centaurs also did fine. Ungor Spermherds all just got wrecked. And the Gorgons, they were around. They tried to help. For Forex, it's just it's a tough matchup. And when people still say that, like, Beastmen into Vampire Counts is heavily Vampire Counts favored, I really don't like telling people about builds like this, but I immediately go, like, in my brain, how the hell does the enemy beat Incarnate Elemental Beasts and Minotaur spam? Or Incarnate Elemental Beasts and Gorgons? I don't think you've tried that one. And they're like, oh, I just keep taking Centaurs and Archers and getting rolled. And I'm like, yeah, that's the build. That's the build that Vampire Counts can't deal with. Sure. But again, I'm very remiss to tell people to try, like, big blobs like this, because I just find them very unfun. And hopefully they'll get nerfed in the future of the game, but for now, they're not, like, super OP. I know some people like to get a little overdramatic and say, like, this type of build can beat anyone. No, it can't. It cannot at all. If you have decent ranged pressure, which the Vampire Counts lack, you can do fine. If you have good armor-piercing anti-large cav, like Kislev Bears, Demigod Knights with Halberds, Grail Knights, that has a lot harder of a time. If you have enough healing to counteract it with your own large duelists like the Lizardmen, then you're going to be fine. If you have good halberd troops like fucking Tzeentch or the Warriors of Chaos, you'll be fine. Dark Elves can deal with it because they have their own skirmishers, they have AP missiles, they have AP skirmish cav, and then they have really good halberds, they'll be fine. If you have good blob punishment spells like Final Transmutation, Traderkin, anything, you'll be fine. And notice all those things I'm listing, the Vampire Counts have none of them. They have 0. And that's why they can't deal with it. I don't know. I think Counts suck right now, but I am very alone in that opinion, and I guess I'll stay that way. What up, Bloof? Long-time watcher, first-time stream joiner. Welcome, welcome. You just need to bring Sylvanian Crossman, then it's VP favored light work. Hey, 1, you mean VC favored, and 2, illegal unit. We have Mercury versus Egg. Mercury on Grand Cathay, Egg on the Dark Elves. We'll see Gotrek here. I am very lenient on the rules in new player tournaments because I just want people to give land battles a shot and see if they like it. But Gotrek is banned for tonight's tournament. So if anybody makes a fuss about it or if it comes up in future rounds, I will notify Mercury. Though Mercury's power went out, so I guess they're not playing anymore anyway. God damn it. Regardless, Gotrek isn't OP or bugged or anything. I just find him particularly annoying. Him and Felix. Foot characters are hard to deal with in general. And you just really need to know how to do it. You need to know how to cycle charge appropriately or to bring stuff in your build that can deal with them like Spirit Leech or Fireball. Or you need to be good at kiting, like getting them into an isolated situation, shooting them in the face with handgunners or something. And that's a lot to ask out of a new player. And losing to Foot Hero Hammer is extremely annoying for people. So that's generally why I ban it in this type of tournament. And also nobody likes to watch Gotrek and Felix solo an entire army. A newbie mentoring tournament. I might need more details. Anyway, for the builds, we do have some Jade Lancers and Peasant Horsemen from Cathay, 1 Crane Gunner, 2 Iron Hail Gunners, 2 Peasant Archers. We do have a Fire Rain Rocket, Gotrek Garrison, a Yang Lord with the Wall of Wind and Fire and Dragon's Breath, and then a Jade Warrior front line with some Peasant Longspears to back them up. For the Dark Elves, you have Dark Riders and Shades. The Shades also brought their Greatsword variants. They're armor piercing in melee, which will be good against the Jade Warriors in the late game if they run out of ammo and have to fight. 4 Shades total. Some Dread Spears also for the front line. A Dread Lord sword and crossbow with his Arrows of Kurnos type ability. Shadows cast with Pendulum, though she did try to cast on the Jade Warriors, and the Jade Warriors dodged forward nicely. 2 Reaper Bolt Throwers, a Cold One Dread Knight, and a Witch Elf. The Witch Elf has been taking a lot of damage from that Fire Rain Rocket, and the Bolt Throwers are currently using their Scatter Shot on the Crane Gunners. I hate the Scatter Shot. I almost always use Bolt Throwers in single shot, and then target the Crane Gunners or target the Fire Rain Rockets, and you'll do well. But the Scatter Shot does literally nothing. It's just so terrible. It is utter garbage. Dark Riders tried to charge in. They got intercepted by Peasant Horsemen. Elsewhere, these Jade Lancers got wrecked by the Shades and have been peeled off. We'll see if they can even come back to the fight, as the Dreadlord crossbow variant is just firing in for now. But Cathay is doing Cathay things to the Dark Elves. Not too sad, because Dark Elves are very prevalent in the meta, so I like seeing them get their comeuppance once in a while. But Cathay doing Cathay things is never particularly enjoyable either. Pit of Shades will catch those Jade Warriors, and the Fire and Rocket continues its devastating attacks on the Shades. Jade Lancers, seeing that they weren't getting too much done with the Shades, they are going to charge down and take out both Reaper Bolt Throwers for free, pretty much. There's nothing back here that can really stop them, with those other Peasant Horsemen coming in too. Cold One Dread Knights committing with the Shadows Caster, trying to get through the front line, but they're not going to. Jade Warriors are insanely good at holding position, even against cav charges. I think this one is looking a bit doomed for the Dark Elves nice and early. We do still have some Shades running up to do a bit of firing, and the Fire and Rocket's going to counterfire them, but through the woods, not that many rockets will get through. The Shades should be relatively safe, but I think the Dark Elves are too far behind. Just a lot of terrible things have happened to them. That's a wall of wind and fire. Can it hit the Shades, or do they dodge? Wall of wind and fire. Oh, it's hitting him. Oh, it's hitting him. Oh, it's messing him up. As a direct hit did some damage. Not even that much, honestly. For only a paltry 6 winds of magic. At least it's cheap, but man, it sucks. Fire and Rocket can now see, now that these guys are on the other side of the trees. The Dragon-Bodied Shugi Lord is rampaging out of her safety. Can this Dreadlord sword and crossbow go take a fight with her? It doesn't look like he's going to opt into it, but Gotrek sure is. Gotrek's going to body this fool. Jumps in, gets his first chop off nice and easy. All the bolt throwers are gone. Shade's taking a lot of damage from that Fire Rain Rocket, and it's still firing in. Cathay did lose some Peasant Archers and some Iron Hill Gunners. Some of their Jade Warriors have fallen back, but the Druchi are way too behind for this nonsense. This could be a good play for them, though. Overextension on the Dragon-Blooded Shugi Lord of Yang is fighting a melee fighter, and now surrounded by Cold One Dread Knights. They could snipe out the Yang Lord and then maybe get the Dread Lord to safety. Maybe. It's not looking likely, as Gotrek plus the Yang Lord actually just body his ass, and the Cold One Dread Knights are going to get going too. Shades are all but gone. That's going to be army losses for the Dark Elves. Hey, Sam Goodwin. There's army losses. Cathay takes a dub. Longboy can't find the replay files. Alright. Hope you're having a good stream. We're trying. We're trying our best. We're doing our absolute best over here, okay? That's all I can say. Fire Rocket almost 3,000 value, and that looks about right. Gotrek and the Yang Lord did fine. Iron Hail Gunners did well. That was really all you needed from Grand Cathay. For Egg, Dreadlord honestly did okay. You got decent value. Shades are good in this matchup. They're just difficult. Kiting in general is difficult. So GG. Human, where do I find my phone? By the toilet. Live stream Lorant when? I don't know. I don't know. Would that how different would that honestly be from my videos where I just turn the camera on, rant till I'm done ranting, and then turn it off? It sounds like that. Any rule breaks yet? Easy. Somebody accidentally took Gotrek, that was it. It's not a big one. Okay. We have Mossy Toes versus Out There. Mossy is an infrequent joiner of our new player tournaments, but has been around. They keep leaving us for other games, other hotter, newer games, like Among Us. And Among Us 2, Electric Boogaloo. There's some Faction War spoilers? Hell yeah, there are. Yee. Tzeentch versus Chaos Dwarfs. A tough matchup for Tzeentch, actually. Tzeentch has a lot of fire damage, and the Chaos Dwarfs have a decent amount of fire resistance spread across their roster. Plus, without Kairos Fate Weaver giving you a ton of regrowth, Tzeentch is not the best of the best factions anymore. And could be a moment for the Chaos Dwarves to come in to win. Oh god, that's a Cathay Destroyer. Why? Why is that a Cathay Destroyer? Who brought that? Who brought that? I know it's Out There. I know Out There is the Chaos Dwarf player, but who brought that? Fess up. Why'd you bring it? I know it's Out There. I'm just doing a bit. Alright. We have one Bull Centaur Render, two Bull Centaur Renders with great weapons. We have a Cathay Destroyer. And then Chaos Dwarf Warriors mixed with some Hobgoblin Cutthroats, a single Chaos Dwarf Blunderbuss, and Astrogoth with his Cascading Fire Cloak, and then the Hellhammer. On the other side, for Tzeentch and Mossy, we have a front line of Blue Horrors, some Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch with Halberds, 3 of them, then the Severed Claw, which is already 4 infantry very excited to have a word with the Cathay Destroyer. Then we have some Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch, it looks like 3 of them total, 1 Screamer, Aecold Hellbrass, and then a Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Metal, with Searing Doom and his Chaos Spawn summon. Alright, Hellhammer coming down the line. Actually going to get a pretty good hit on all these units. Takes out the Warriors of Tzeentch's shields. And now we have some Blue Horrors crumbling away in the background. Also these Blunderbusses. Oh, I want to see the next volley. Oh, it's so satisfying! But yeah, rest in peace, those Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch. They're having a bad time with those Blunderbusses shooting at them. They will actually get pushed off now. The Cathay Destroyer needs to avoid the Halberds, and avoid the Skirmish Cav, and avoid the Screamers, and he'll be just fine. So he can fight some Blue Horrors. No. Memes aside, he actually will be pretty good at killing Aecold, so if he just joins Astrogoth and fighting Aecold and then the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Metal, he could be kind of used as a character assassin sort of guy, as he drags his giant spike through these Blue Horrors, getting some good damage down. But Astrogoth needs help. Even with his buffs, he is losing to Aecold. Aecold is a melee duelist specialist. He will beat up on, poor Astrogoth. Being a hybrid caster lord doesn't get you very far versus a dedicated melee duelist like Aecold. Bull Centaur Renders are ignoring the Halberds too. So far, I'm liking this. For out there, his build is silly. Now, some people just like to have fun in our new player tournaments, which is fine. But, like, his build is silly. It's not super optimal. One thing that he is doing really well, though, is so far the Chaos Dwarfs have had really good target selection with their units. I see a drop micro here and there, like some of these Bull Centaur Renders are just chilling for way too long, and that's a mistake. But so far, he's picked good fights. Like, he hasn't sent Bull Centaur Renders to die against Halberds. He hasn't sent this Cathay Destroyer to go die against Halberds or to sit in the Screamers. So far, he's actually done pretty well with his units in-game. Just needs a little quicker reaction sometimes, like these Bull Centaur Renders are now going in to fight the Screamers of Tzeentch, which is good. These Bull Centaur Renders are mostly trying to follow the Blue Horrors. Their flag is next to the Severed Claw, but he's actually gotten most of them away from that danger. Cathay Destroyer is continuing to fight Blue Horrors and such, gets a side swipe on the Chaos Sorcerer of Metal, but Astrogoth didn't even get through Aecold's shields pretty much. Like, I think he got 1 or 2 hits past his shields, and now he's just healed it up. So Astrogoth coming out very much the loser on that duel with Aecold. 2 more Blue Horrors going to fade away beneath the pressure of the Bull Centaur Renders and the Cathay Destroyer. Another Blue Horror fades away in the distance, and these Screamers of Tzeentch are alive for now, but it looks like the Blunderbusses will finish them off. For Mossy, he still has plenty of healthy Halberds, which he will need to get through this game, and Aecold continues to hunt down Astrogoth like it's his mission in life, which I guess it is. The Halberds are slowly beating up on Chaos Dwarf Warriors. We still have a decent amount of Skirmish Cav with a lot of ammunition if they can stay away from those Bull Centaur Renders. So Tzeentch still has some tools in this game. Their Lord is also very healthy, and they're trying to snipe out Astrogoth right now by teaming up both of their Lord and Aecold on him. So for the Chaos Dwarves, they got to keep this Blunderbuss alive and well, and the Cathay Destroyer and the Bull Centaur Renders can maybe carry from there. And Tzeentch needs to get their Halberds onto the right targets. Astrogoth a bit stuck in. Does have his hammer popped. I think he also had Cascading Fire Cloak for a bit, but it's gone now. And there's the Chaos Spawn summon, popping up right on top of the Blunderbusses. We'll see if these Bull Centaur Renders have the reaction time they need to save those guys from imminent peril. The Halberds are peeled away by a mix of Chaos Dwarf Warrior tenacity and terror from our Cathay Destroyer friend. Astrogoth is saved, but for how long can he get out of here as a Hellhammer comes down, sacrificing some Chaos Dwarf Warriors to the Dark Gods, but overall it is worth it to get rid of more of those deadly, deadly Halberds. The Blunderbusses are not bailed out in time. Now the Bull Centaur Renders come charging downhill, and they'll get good damage, but the damage on the Blunderbusses will stick, while a summon will eventually fade away. How do I sign up for tournaments? On our Discord, we announce every tournament in our Tournaments tab. We have a new player tournament every week, alternating time zones between NA and EU friendly, and then we have less regular try-hard tournaments that you don't need to be a new player to participate in. I'm scared to play multiplayer. I think I'd get shit on. You get better pretty quickly, but fair. Fair, fair. I just stopped because my internet is garbage and my power keeps going out. I'm sorry, Shoxy. We do miss you. We miss the Alluress of Slaanesh builds and the Queekhead Taker builds. We love Shoxy on this channel. Alright, I got distracted by chat for a second. We still do have the Bull Centaur Renders and the Cathay Destroyer running around. Astrogoth has maintained his life for the moment, but boy, it's not looking great. It's not. He is very, very low. Can the Cathay Destroyer help kill off the Chaos Sorcerer Lord and Aecold? Chaos Sorcerer Lord is actually on horseback, which is going to be a detriment against these Bull Centaur Renders. They get to use their impressive, I think they have like 30 bonus versus large. 25, so pretty much. They get to use all those stats against him. Marauder Horseman of Tzeentch coming back, skirmishing a little bit, almost going to kill off that other Chaos. Why is everything a Chaos? Chaos Dwarf Warriors, all that shit. Bull Centaur Renders of the Chaos Dwarves. They're getting poked. Down to 4 models and 1,000 HP. It's not looking too hot. Cathay Destroyer is trying to get rid of some more Halberds. And the Severed Claw are actually taking a lot more damage than I would have expected, because they're fighting some Hobgoblin Cutthroats. The Cutthroats aren't doing that much damage to them. They're mostly just keeping the shields at bay. But still, these guys have taken a lot of damage. Blunderbuss is trying to shoot past their Bull Centaur Renders into the Halberds. Does not look like it's going to go their way. And Astrogoth is going to take one last fight with his other Sorcerer Lords. Now it's a duel of the Sorcerer Lords, and he does have better stats in that arena. Huge charge attack, and kills him. Kills off the Tzeentch Lord. That should cause a mass rout, like we have some Marauder Horsemen in the distance that are thinking about leaving. We have 2 Halberds who are routing now that their Lord is dead. Bounce power is still about dead even. As Aecold finishes off some Bull Centaur renders, Marauder Horsemen chase off the other ones, using the last of their ammo, almost killing those guys outright. There's a Bolt of Change. The Tier 2 arm ability of Tzeentch is going to try and snipe out Astragoth. I don't know if it can do 1,000 HP in one hit, but it'll get him darn close to dead. Yeah, 250 left for Astragoth. He is pretty much out of this game. The Blunderbusses are tearing apart the Severed Claw in the open ground, which is a huge win for the Chaos Dwarves. They were quite worried about how to kill off those guys. The Blunderbusses did great work. Bull Centaur Render's still trying to kill Aecold, who is full HP. And the Marauder Horsemen, they have some ammunition. Can they get a shot onto Astragoth? It looks like not, as the Blunderbusses are going to... Okay. They threw a wild volley that mostly missed, but they got close. Downhill charge from the Marauder Horsemen, trying to help out Aecold with these Bull Centaur Renders, but the Cathay Destroyer is here to make sure that anything that gets nearby terror routes off quite swiftly. The Blunderbusses have been kept alive all game, which was one of the win conditions for the Chaos Dwarves, but here comes a rear charge from the Marauder Horsemen. Can they do very much in melee combat versus these Blunderbusses? Their 85 armor will try and keep them safe. 34 melee defense is also nothing to scoff at. And there is a Hellhammer that might do some serious friendly fire damage. We'll see where all the models are. Nope, it was overall a positive for the Chaos Dwarves. And those guys are out with the help of the Cathay Destroyer. Blunderbuss is even going to turn and shoot at them as they run away. Aecold is still bumping and grinding with the Bull Centaur Renders. We do have a Marauder Horseman with ammunition. Hoping to come back someday. But I think they're scared of getting shot by the Blunderbusses like even one time. Destroyer gets a shot onto Hellbrass, knocks him away. Hits him again, and knocks him down this time. But the Bull Centaur Renders have taken 200 HP damage while we've been talking. They're down to 3 leadership. And the Blunderbuss is going to continue to carry this game on their back as they shoot at the Halberds trying to rejoin. The Aecold is really the last hope of Tzeentch here. The Blunderbusses honestly could deal with him too, though, if they have good shots onto him while he walks across open ground. Bull Centaur Renders are routing. Aecold's going to turn and fight the Cathay Destroyer. See you perhaps another day. Oh, bye, Grudges. Have a good birthday. The Blunderbusses are just focusing on keeping the Skirmish Cav off, and the Cathay Destroyer is fighting Aecold. So far, it's winning, which is a bit of a surprise. Doesn't win a lot of things. And those Skirmish Cav continue to fire in. Astragoth still dangerously low, but so far not punished. And Aecold and the Cathay Destroyer are trading just about tit for tat. Each time one gets a hit, so does the other. Aecold has healing, but he is on fire for most of this, so his healing is reduced. He's starting to get the better of the Cathay Destroyer. The Skirmish Cav are thinking about taking a charge. The Blunderbusses are turning towards them. This is a very dangerous gamble. They're getting shot as they hop in, but hop in they do. They're going to stop the Blunderbusses for just a bit, but like last time, they really don't get that much damage off before they themselves are going to get routed. And on the high ground, the Cathay Destroyer is at 1,400 HP, and Aecold's at 2,500. He is getting the advantage in that duel, slowly but surely. Once again, the Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch are routed off. Astragoth lost about 40 HP, he's down to 200. The Blunderbuss is at 900 as they fire into the retreating Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch. Aecold has just about done it, though. There goes the Cathay Destroyer. It did better in this game than I've ever seen it do before, but it still lost to Aecold in melee combat. And army losses hits! Oh, okay. I guess we're just done then. I guess that's it. As Mossy does win a very, very close game. I think Aecold is going to have a little bit more trouble charging at those Blunderbusses, but sure, whatever, that's fine. Alright, got some more replays to save here. Mossy. Out there. And then Hot Fire Potato is wondering how to send in a replay. Look at stream. Okay, while I wait for him to do that. Okay, PC. Okay. So to find a replay, go to, oh shit. Yes, local disk, users, me, app data, roaming, the Creative Assembly, Warhammer 3 replays, and then you drag and drop whatever replay you want into Discord, into a DM with me. Like, if you literally just take this file and drag it over to Discord, it'll plop. Okay? That's how you do a replay. Right? App data, roaming, the Creative Assembly, Warhammer 3 replays. That's how you submit them. Back to it. We have Trogdar the Flatulent versus Ayaya. Ayaya. Oh god, that tea is hot, but it feels good. How's it going? Looked like you had a lot of drops, airstrikes. We did have a lot of drops. We did have a lot of drops. It is too late to throw somebody else in here. It's been confusing enough as it is, Mr. Airstrikes. But I appreciate your offers. What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? Empire versus the Tomb Kings. What kind of tea? Lemon ginger. You have Outriders grenade launchers, as they're about to get a very satisfying volley onto some skeleton warriors, but they're about to get, an equally satisfying counter volley from the Chosen of the Gods! Oh, they dodged the last second. Man, the Chosen of the Gods hitting a skirmish cav that's in normal formation can do some truly terrifying amounts of damage. It's insane. Cool. Anyway, for us, the Empire build, we do have a front line of state troops, swordsmen, and spearmen mixed throughout. We do have 2 handgunners, 2 more in the back, including silver bullets. Marcus Wolfhard, a Sigmarite warrior priest, a celestial wizard with Thunderbolt and Comet, and then some Knights of the Blazing Sun and Empire Knights. Actually, just 3 Knights of the Blazing Sun. This is a wild Empire build. I love it. On the side of the Tomb Kings, Skeleton, Spearman, and Warrior frontline, Arkan the Black with Spirit Leech and Fate of Buna, and then his summon, Chosen the Gods in a basic Ushapti Rakebow, 2 Sporkle Stalkers, 2 Screaming Skull Catapults, and some Skeleton Horsemen in the backfield with Carrion. A very standard, very well put together Tomb Kings build. I like it a lot. The Empire build is more spicy. Handgunners are in range, and they have really good targets. They will love shooting at Ushapti, they'll love shooting at Arkan. They're really just happy campers to shoot at anything. And a Sigmarite Warrior Priest on the front line gonna help the Empire get through even faster. Looks like he only brought his Benediction for more leadership and then fire damage for his front line, which is really good against the Tomb Kings. Even though they're not weak to fire, they have a lot of passive healing that gets reduced by that fire damage. On the high ground, some Outriders find themselves near Sepulchral Stalkers. They're trying to shoot at something a little too far away, so they're overextending into some Spearmen and Sepulchral Stalkers to do it. That is a bit of a problem, but the Handgunners had a field day on the Ushapti Great Bows. Ooh, and now they could try and aim for Arkan the Black. That would be a huge amount of damage on them right now. It looks like so far only Marcus Wolfhard is shooting at Arkan, and he's still getting good damage down, but if those Handgunners were a little quicker on the draw, they could have actually killed Arkan off. The Outriders are about doomed at this point. The Empire a little slow on the draw getting them out, but it looks like they have a ton of things to micro, and they're just a bit stressed. Handgunners dodging away from a Skeleton Warrior summon. Knights of the Blazing Sun rear charging some Skeleton Horsemen, and a Comet of Cassandora hits 2 stacked up Skeleton Spears, so that was a good target for that spell. Scream Skull Catapults kill off their own guy at the very end, and there goes the Amber Bow, smoking Arkan right in the face. Does he have the focus shot to follow it up? Nope, just the Amber Bow, so he'll continue to poke away at poor Arkan. Handgunner's mostly safe. The Empire's actually feeling all right in this. Ushapti summon coming out, though. It should not target Marcus. It won't do nearly enough damage to him. It should chase down the Handgunners for sure. 2 Handgunners, including Silver Bolts, are shooting at these Eyes of the Desert right now, getting some decent damage out. These other Handgunners are wondering what to do. Knights of the Blazing Sun break into the backfield, as do some Spearmen. Oh, this could be huge. If the Empire Spearmen actually just go fight Screaming Skull Catapults, they can take those offline. No problem. Chasing down Ushapti is tough. You stop them from shooting, sure, but they're going to outrun you, so they're going to get a lot of damage. It's a mixed choice. I don't hate it, because like you are keeping them from dealing damage to you, so I guess that's what you want. The Handgunners are continuing to shoot the Sporkle Stalkers, who are a little bit left out to dry. Don't have any great targets right now, and they're just kind of counter-firing at the handguns a little bit. The Ushapti summon is countercharged by Knights of the Blazing Sun, and Marcus is fighting it. And they're not getting on the Silver Bullets just yet, as both Screaming Skull Catapults are going to go down. More Knights of the Blazing Sun screaming into the back line. And can the Chosen of the Gods try and carry this? They're going to kill off one of the Knights of the Blazing Sun. maybe the other if given time. What can kill all the handgunners, though, is the Ushabti still trying to kill Marcus. They're getting some damage out, and then paired with a Spirit Leech from Arkan, I guess we're going all in on the snipe attempt. We are getting some decent damage, but handgunners from the trees continue to poke Arkan down and force him back, which he is not enjoying. Not at all. Knights of the Blazing Sun, courage holds. They run past the Screaming Skull Catapult that is dying to the Spearmen. And things are looking rough for the Tomb Kings as now you have 2 heavy cav chasing down your Ushabti. There's not a lot of infantry left, and we're putting all of our faith in Arkan's death magic and this full health Stalker to somehow find a way to carry this game. But it looks unlikely against all these handguns, and we have... That is a lightning bolt. Should do a lot of damage. Meow. I actually used to love lightning bolt a lot. Back when, before Mortal Empires, if you could take lightning bolt, that was pog. There wasn't a ton of crowd clearing back then, and there was a lot of heavily armored blobs and boxes out of like Cathay and Kislev, so if you grab some Thunderbolts and just wreck them, it was great. Spartan, I did not know that secret buff existed. Stalker's lining it up now to shoot at swordsmen, it appears, but I really don't know how the Tomb Kings can turn this game around. The last of their skeleton spearmen are dying, the last of their Ushabti great bows are dying. Arkan is danger low, and that is GG. What are your thoughts on Comet? Comet's not a bad spell. It's not a bad spell. There's better spells. Like Burning Head will do everything Comet does, but more reliably. Comet's slightly better against armored units than Burning Head is, but Burning Head's just more reliable. Comet's also pretty easy to dodge. Handgunners did great. Nice Blazing Sun. Not a ton of value, but they were very important. Wolfheart was really, really good. Celestial, Caster. I mean, he killed stuff. But really, I think the 4 handguns did most of the work, and I think they were the most creative part of this build. I haven't seen handgunner forward builds in a long time. You usually see, like, the silver bullets, or 1 extra handgunner besides silver bullets. Not 4. And I did like it. It was fun. It was cool. For the Tomb Kings, catapults did mixed work. The weapons teams is what I call these type of units. They did okay. Arkan did fine, but the handgunner build just seemed to surprise him. Okay. Okay. We have apparently a banger replay from Yashkaf and Fiery Potato. Okay. Okay, so we'll get rid of that. This is Spartan's game. We have several bangers on the horizon. You don't have app data? Hot Fire Potato, you don't have app data? It might be a hidden folder. Do you have to unhide it? Okay, we have Boon Tax Evasion versus Longboy. Return of the Longboy. I believe app data is a hidden folder, so if you don't have your folders unhidden, I don't know what to tell you. You might have to Google that one. Alright. For the Skaven, we have a wild-ass build from Spartan, who is in chat. Very excited about his own build. 2 Warplock Jezzails, 2 Warp Lightning Cannons, 2 Rat Ogres, Clan Rat Spears, 3 Storm Vermin with Halberds, and a 4th, the Council Guard. We have Throt the Unclean on foot with his Summon and Creature Killer, no caster. On the side of the Ogre Kingdoms, Mournfang Cavalry and Sabertusk packs on the flanks, including the Sky Striders, Crusher's Regiment of Renown. We have a bunch of Ogre Bulls with Iron Fists, Slaughtermaster the Great Maw with Healing and Brain Gobbler, and then some Noblar Trappers. Sturmy Stern Vermin or Sturmy Stern Vermining. I have a replay from Galroch that I'll mark as unread and deal with it later. And then it unmarks as unread, so that's cool. That's a cool and exciting thing that happened. Ogres charging straight into these Clan Rats and Storm Vermin. Storm Vermin holding for now, but they are getting shot by Noblar Trappers, and Warp Lightning Cannons are doing a little bit of a friendly fire lit trolling. Here come the Sabertusk packs, gonna om-nom their way through our weapons teams. Say goodbye to the Warplock Jezzails as the Warp Lightning Cannons continue to try and fire. They are going to get rid of some of these Ogre Bulls. The Ogre Bulls are going to rout the Clan Rats first, though. And the Halberd front line of the Skaven is falling apart, slowly but surely. The Sky Striders are maintaining a cautious distance. They don't want to fight the Council Guard, I suppose. But both the Jezzails are offline. One of our Warp Lightning Cannons is in supreme duress. The other one's fine. They're still shooting. Front line for the Skaven has fallen apart. Stormvermin with Halberds just do not hold. They don't hold. Their leadership is too bad. And that is a butcher on some Ogre Bulls. Wow. God damn, the Longboy loves himself those specific Ogre Bulls. Throt the Unclean has rejoined the backfield fight. He's giving a little bit of buffs to these Rat Ogres. One of them's a summon. The healthy one is a summon Rat Ogre, so it'll go away eventually. And Mournfang Cav getting the charge right now. Beep bop badoop. Hits the Warp Lightning Cannons, knocks them off their models, and their health plummets. They'll be routing any second now. Sky Striders haven't even gotten involved in this game. They don't care. They don't need to be. They're fine. This could be a problem, though. Noblar Trappers are hopefully going to start throwing at these Rat Ogres because they are surrounding a Slaughtermaster and getting a lot of damage on him that you really don't want. For the Skaven, it's quickly becoming Throt and the Council Guard versus the world. His summoned Rat Ogre has disappeared. And I suspect these Stormvermin will have a limited shelf life. Longboy, you gotta get these Trappers to shoot at the Rat Ogres. They're gonna kill your Slaughtermaster. Hey! Hey! You turn. Jezzails on the high ground do come back, but rampaging Sabertusk packs will track them down, hopefully for the sake of the Ogre Kingdoms. Now the Noblar Trappers are firing in on the Council Guard and these other Stormvermin Halberds. Unshielded, 90 armor, but can only protect themselves so much versus these guys. As the Mournfang Cav and Crushers are just chilling. I don't see any need to charge through. Or Blinding Cannon gets back online to fire through the Noblar Trappers, not that it does very much damage. The Ogre Kingdom's more than happy to stall this out for now as some Ogre Bulls start coming back to the fight. Sabertusk packs are chasing off other stuff elsewhere, so time really does favor the Ogres as they charge up more army passive for either that tier 3 healing or the tier 2 terror. Honestly, both are good into this Skaven. Noblar Trappers are chased off by Throt the Unclean, but the Mournfang Cav and the Sky Striders think about charging in, which they should while these Stormvermin are unbraced. They would actually do insane damage on the charge against unbraced Stormvermin like this, but I don't think they know that. Not all Halberds can withstand a charge, especially if they're moving. Ogre Bulls have charged through, got a little bit of damage out. Now they're starting to retreat. Sabertusk packs will probably never retreat. They will most likely die in these trenches. As the Sky Striders and Mournfang Cav don't need to do anything. I guess they're just chilling. One of them got Troll Guts for a little bit more healing. As we, I guess, attempt to army loss the Skaven. Creature Killer is popped to Throt the Unclean, giving a little bit more bonus versus large. Not that it's really going to matter too much. Oh. Are they getting involved? Mournfang Cav going to charge those Warp Lightning Cannons for free. They should be able to take that out, but I'm more interested in what the Sky Striders are going to do. Are they actually going for Throt? Looks like they are. No one's gonna recharge all these Halberds, and that might lose them their Slaughtermaster. Butcher's trying to heal them up for now. These Ogre Bulls have got to get out of the way. They're in the way of the Sky Striders. So either the Sky Striders... I really think the Sky Striders should be rear charging over here. That would do great damage. But if they're going to snipe out Throt, and the Ogre Bulls have to move. Hot Fire Potato, you did it? Hell yeah, dude. Army losses is coming close for the Skaven. Brain Gobbler lowers the leadership of the Stormthrown Halberds that can route. The Slaughtermaster is at about his heal cap. The Sky Striders continue to fight. Army losses will hit for the Skaven. And that is GG. Ogre Kingdoms get the dub. Alright, boop. TY, as I watch the Council Guard slowly die. Save Hot Fire Potatoes replay. Yeah, GG. How's Mayo been lately? Bad. 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 I actually have 2 job interviews. One in early February, one on Monday. With other jobs. Now, there is a bit of stress with that for me. Because I'm scrolling through the values. You can see them if you want to. There's a bit of stress with that. Foryx versus Trogdar. Okay. So we have Hot Fire Potato and Yakshif. Yashkaf. Cool, cool. I'm deleting that one because I just have 2 copies of it. What the hell? What the hell is that? Now I just gotta see this. I gotta see this to know what the fuck. Because that's insane. That's raw insanity. Yeah, okay, sorry. So Mayo, it's been a struggle. So yeah, I've been looking for other jobs. I do have some interviews, but that does cause me a bit of anxiety because the one thing about my Mayo job right now that's nice for when I'm streaming is with Mayo, I need to complete tasks by a time point. It doesn't matter when I go into the office as long as my tasks get done. So there are some days where if I want to stream during the EU time zone, I'll just go in after the stream and work into the night a bit. And that's fine. But if I get a different job and it's more normal... Sorry, people are messaging me. If I get a job that's more normal, 9 to 5, I can pretty much only stream during the European hours on the weekend. So I've become a weekend-only streamer for that. I might have some NA nighttime streams every once in a while here and there. But also at my Mayo job, since it's more task-focused, a lot of the time I don't work 40 hours a week. A lot of the time I work like 32 to 35, which is fine. But then like that extra 8 or 5 hours that most people would be working, I stream for y'all. So I don't know. Getting a new job might make streaming a difficult concept. But we'll see what happens, I guess. Anyway, for this build, a very wild build from Nurgle. Herald of Nurgle with Stream of Corruption and Rancid Visitations for his spells. Triple Chosen, but just regular Chosen of Nurgle. 2 Chaos Warriors of Nurgle. 2 Exalted Plague Bearers, also of Nurgle. And the Barons of the Bog, Pox Riders of Nurgle, with 2 Chaos Warhounds on the bottom side. For the Elves, we do have a Silver Helm with Shields. White Lions of Krace, double Swordmaster of Hoeth, which will do very well versus the Chosen. 2 Bolt Throwers, some Archers, a Firecaster with Burning Head and Piercing Bolts of Burning, and then we have a Princess on a Moon Dragon, with it looks like all of her abilities. Now, Silver Helms should be able to body 2 dogs, but it looks like they didn't get the charge. They are getting charged instead. Most of a cavalry's damage comes from the impact on a charge, so if they don't get that charge, then they're really not going to be that effective of a melee combatant. Archers are helping fight the Barons of the Bog and doing good damage over there. And what is this lady doing? She needs to get breath attacks. We need breath attacks on the Chosen of Nurgle. Never mind, actually. You don't need them. Fuck them. apparently, as they're just going to get killed by Swordmasters. Nice burning head through the line. It curves into the White Lines of Grace for a little bit, then opts out. And the Bolt Throwers are still trying to punish the Exalted Plague Bearers. Silver Helms getting into a fight over their heads, 2v1 with dogs and a Herald of Nurgle rolling through them. They really don't want that fight, and they're going to back off as the High Elf front line continues to hold for now. Barons of the Bog taking about equal trades with the Silver Helms. Of course, we do have Archer support. And there's a breath attack from the lady. It actually hits mostly the Barons of the Bog. All right. I'm a little surprised, but we take that. Stream Corruption down the Swordmasters of Hoeth. That might have been Overcast, because that did a lot of damage to these poor guys. But it looks like the Swordmasters are going to usually... Not usually. They are going to kill a Chosen on their way out the door. The Fecundity is healing up that Chosen as we go. Other Chaos Warriors of Nurgle taking a lot of damage, and the dogs are still moving in. Rants of Visitations. Is it Overcast? It is. Onto the Princess. There's no healing for her. The Herald of Nurgle is taking some archer shots, plus she is poking him down. Pretty even trade so far across the board. The High Elf front line is starting to falter. And what can the archers do about that? The archers should probably have been targeting the Plague Bearers of Nurgle. The Herald of Nurgle is okay, but he's on that fly, so he kind of keeps doing that thing where he moves around. The archers are mostly missing. And this Dragon Lord has not used any of her breath attacks on the front line, where it could have been helpful. And now she's sitting in front of these grenades, took a bunch of free damage, so... a couple mistakes from the High Elves really coming to hurt them in the late game. We still have one Swordmaster that is cleaving through Chosen of Nurgle and Chaos Warriors. The dogs are getting peeled off by the archers, so both archers are still online for now. And there's another breath attack from this Dragon Lord, but now she's stuck in the sky fighting a Herald. Does she see it coming? No. For now, she's getting hit in the back for free, and there comes one of her arrows of Kurnos abilities onto the Barons of the Bog. Bolt Throwers are still shooting their scatter shot into stuff, and I said in an earlier game that I hate Bolt Thrower scatter shots. I think they're terrible. So, I kind of wish these guys would go into single shot and just shoot the Barons of the Bog from the start of the game, or single shot and harass the Herald of Nurgle all game. But their scatter shot's just not getting anything done. Swordmasters will continue to beat up the Chosen. We are losing some archers here, and the Herald of Nurgle is doing absolutely nothing to the Princess, though she has not turned to take the fight with him at all, and I kind of think she maybe should have. Even at that low HP point, she's actually more than a match for him in melee combat. Now she does take another Rance Visitation. It's going to get her lower and lower as she recharges the Barons of the Bog, trying to kill them off, but she will take damage in the meantime. I think that is it for the High Elves. Nice burning head, but too little, too late, I'm afraid. Your Pathfinder session just finished early? That was a short Pathfinder session. Army loss is going to hit the High Elves soon. Swordmaster still continuing to fight it out, just being absolute chads. That won't be enough to save the rest of the High Elves. That should be army losses when that mage routes, right? Yep, there it is. GG. Nice job, Swordmasters, you tried. One person's feeling ill, so the DM stopped everything. Damn, dude. I'm sorry, Spartan. It's okay. You've missed a very scuffed tournament so far. Scuffed in all the scariest ways. For out there, good win on Nurgle. Not something we get to say often out loud. The Chosen Nurgle did not get a ton of value, but the Plague Bearers did do fine. Barons of the Bog did fine. Caster did great, and the dogs paid for themselves with some extra. For Egg, the Princess was a neat pick. I think it could have been played a little bit better, and I don't think the pick was necessarily bad, but she ended up not being what we needed this game. Silver Helms blocked as best they could. The Swordmasters did a lot of work. They did great. The Firecaster was fine. Bolt Throwers did end up almost paying for themselves, so they ended up doing good, and so did the Archers. But Silver Helms and the Princess letting the High Elves down just a little bit. Just a wee little bit. I will get back to this Beastmen Wood Elf game. I'm not skipping it on purpose, but we have seen both those players, and I really wanted to watch this one. Yashkov versus Hot Fired Potato. Let's fucking go. As for the actual tournament bracket, we are halfway through round 3 out of 4. So some people are on round 4 already. Some people are still working on round 3. Beastmen Empire. For the Beastmen, do have some dogs. Some of the dogs have poison, some don't. Malagor Dark Omen with Doom and Darkness and Flock of Doom. Triple Minotaurs, all with shields. One is the Butchers of Kalkengard. Do have an Incarnate Elemental Beast for that Mortis Engine anti-large dueling, though against the Empire it is a little harder to pull off. They have a lot of shooting that can harass. Some more dogs, some Zongors and Ungor Spearman herds, and a couple archers, looks like 3 of them. The other side for the Empire, Boris Todbringer, by far the best lord into low leadership factions like the Beastmen and Skaven and Greenskins and maybe Norsca. We do have some Empire Knights to dominate the flanks against the Beastmen. We have the Tattered Souls Flagellants, not something we get to see often. A front line of Spearmen, 3 Crossbowmen, the Hammer of the Witches, and 2 more Spearmen in the back line with a Firecaster. Bring in Burning Head and Cascading Firecloak. You need the Slanesh practice, Spartan. Hey man, Vermin League, best of 1 bot, those are always there. You don't need tournaments for that. Dogs are suiciding through the lines to get to the Hammer of the Witches. We'll see if anything can come back and peel them off for now, though the Empire Knights are mostly busy on the flanks. There is nothing back here. And Boris himself will dive in, and if he gets a rear charge onto those dogs, that should terror out them. Yeah, just due to all of the leadership buffs he brings to the table, he can't get rid of them so quickly, and the Tattered Souls plus Boris on Malagor could actually be terrible for the poor crow. Empire is uncontested on this higher ground areas. The lower flank gets all the action from the Beastmen. They're overloading it with their Minotaurs and their big Incarnate Elemental. Already routing off some Spearmen, and then the Butcher's going to get a rear charge onto these Spearmen, also terror routing them away, because the Butchers cause terror as well. I like that. I like that. Beastmen just trying to get through the bottom as quickly as possible. Some Minos in the distance fight Empire Knights and crush them on the charge. But, ooh, Empire Knights returning the favor as 2 of them pile into 3 Ungor Raiders. Should take them out very, very quickly. So both sides trading a lot of value. But Malagor, like we had said, he's not going to have a good time fighting Boris and the Tattered Souls. He's routing away with half HP. The Hammer of the Witches is retreating for now. They can't really get back on their guns. It looks like the area is just too contested as the Butchers of Kalkengard tear through some Tattered Souls with other Mino support. The Incarnate Elemental Beast decides he has other places to be. He's just going to leave for now as he and his Minos go back to deal with these Empire Knights who are killing off the Ungor Raiders. Even though these are not the anti-large Minotaurs, they're still more than happy to fight some heavily armored Knights. That's what they live for, and the Empire Knights want none of it. They're going to back off very quickly. Tattered Souls, Unbreakable Flagellants, the best of the best. They will fight till the very end, though they are taking a lot of damage for that commitment. Archers trying to punish the Butchers of Kalkengard, though they're slowly healing up, and they are silver shielded, making it much more difficult to take care of them. Boris cannot catch Malagor. Malagor is 26 speed faster. Actually, he's 31 speed faster when he puts his mind to it. So yeah, Malagor will outpace Boris. Boris probably needs to be in here, charging around, routing off some of these infantry pieces. There's a Burning Head from the Mage of Fire. Looks like it did a bunch of damage to everybody in this area, but mostly killed off some Imperials. These Empire Knights run off those Ungor Spearmen we talked about earlier, and Minotaurs still just try and find a fight with any of the armored Knights. Crossmen are taken out. Dogs routed away from the Hammer of the Witches, though they did get its second route. No, that is its first. It didn't actually route, it just ran away from the cannons, because it was a bad situation to be in. The Incarnate's going nuts, so are the Butchers of Kalkengard, and I wonder what Boris is going to do. It looks like he's going to try and land here, but this is scary. Cascading Firecloak giving him more melee defense, that's nice, but the Incarnate Elemental Beast immediately has a big red arrow. It is coming for Boris Todbringer, and it's a way better 1v1 melee combatant than he is. He's going to want to avoid that for sure. In the background, Minotaurs still cleaving through Empire Knights. Minotaurs running through Crossmen, getting rid of them. Can these other Empire Knights come back and stop the Minos? Not at half HP. That's too healthy for an Empire Knight to take out. Butchers of Kalkengard getting close to routing. They cannot terror out as they do cause terror. So that little plan of Boris's will not work since he's so used to everything running away from him all the time. They do eventually run naturally, but more Minos are back and the Incarnate's still swinging, though it has not seemed to have hit Boris this entire time. The Empire is getting drained down slowly. But slowly is the key word. Malagor probably needs to rejoin his forces. Looks like he is harassing some crossbows. And these Minos over here are forgotten, and that is a disaster. A full health Minotaur does need to come back to the fight. He needs to get some rear charges off and do some good work. Regular Minotaurs are not terror-causing. They are ITP, however, because of Bloodgreed. Oh, so they also can't terror out away from Boris. Incarnate Elemental Beast continues to drain down everybody around it. Has not been able to really find Boris in a 1v1, which is its loss. It really would like to fight that big boy. He's going to land next to it, try and make it a little easier. Another Cascading Fire Cloak out onto him to give him better melee defense stats. The Incarnate continues to try and find him, but it routes off everything else around it. Here comes a rear charge from the Minotaurs that were left behind earlier, routing one Spearman, and a second one is close on the way. Malagor will have to fight a Bright Wizard. Malagor's a better melee combatant, but he's not feeling too hot these days, and the Bright Wizard did just get a free charge onto him. Doom and Darkness trying to rout off the Crossmen and get rid of them so that Malagor can move on. The Incarnate is now just fighting Boris. There's no one else around it. I guess the Tattered Souls technically are, but he's not distracted by them at all. The Minotaurs have run out to go deal with these crossbows, it appears. Butcher's Counting Guard on the top side, fighting Empire Knights, and the Incarnate is currently whooping on Boris, but Boris can heal up and it can't, so it has to finish the fight quickly before it loses that Mortis Engine passive of his. Ooh, that's going to be bad. Minotaur's rejoining the fight that Boris is already losing. He's starting to path out now, and Malagor does rout the Crossman. The Bright Wizard has not managed to hit him so far, so things are going well for the Beastmen all of a sudden. Balance of power is still slightly in favor of the Empire, but the Beastmen are coming back in it. These other Minotaurs are fighting to the very end, trying to finish off the crossbows and these Empire Knights, and the Incarnate Elemental Beast does get distracted for a little bit. Cascading Fire Cloak onto the Bright Wizard himself. Malagor's down to 600 HP, and Boris is trying to get away from the Minotaurs, but they occasionally keep getting that somersault attack into him. He has had enough distance now that he should take off, and he is just fine. His healing cap's within sight. He should be able to recover a little bit in the air. On the ground, Malagor's not feeling too hot, but besides him, we still have some Minotaurs with enough love left to give, an Incarnate that's literally unbreakable, and some archers rallying in the far ground for the Beastmen. We also still have some Zongors fighting away with spearmen and shields. That central fight has just been forgotten. Bright Wizard has to leave Malagor alone, but it doesn't look like he gets very far as he gets caught in the woods by the Minos. And can they rout him off? And if they do, can anybody even chase him, as Malagor is already running away from Boris Todbringer. He can't hang out here for much longer. And Malagor, 94 speed, routs away from Boris, 160 HP, and Boris should be able to walk him off the map, as now with Foe Seeker, he is plenty fast to keep up with Malagor, who is wounded. He kills him, which is a disaster for the Beastmen. The Beastmen's leadership across the board is going to tank. Now some of these archers are going to rout and shatter themselves off the map. Crossmen trying to kill off these Minotaurs, but once again, those guys are very spooky, scary. They should be able to plow straight through the Crossmen and take them off the map, and once again chase the Bright Wizard, but the Bright Wizard, he's getting some decent distance from those Minos. He might be able to come back. Might. Boris might be tempted to try and route these guys next to the edge of the map, but I don't think he can. They're too healthy. Even with his debuffs, they're too healthy. Incarnate is too low. Its Mortis Engine is gone. But there isn't that much left on the map to Mortis Engine, honestly, as the Hammer of the Witch's crew is making a run, making a beeline for their cannons to get some damage out there. And it looks like the Incarnate doesn't really know that they're there. Boris is really good here. His leadership debuffs are great against Beastmen. Oh yeah, dude. I think Boris is the best for this matchup, personally. Or the chance to get a Lizardman DLC? No. No. Just no. Lizardman and Skaven don't get another DLC for at least a while. Hammond with the $5.69. What are the chances we get a Lizardman DLC? I just read that. I just didn't read that it was a donation. Thank you for the donation. I don't think we get a Lizardman DLC for quite a while. Hammer of the Witch's crew is slowly making their way back to their cannon. They'll get there. And the new player tournaments do have a lot of weird builds. You're true. You're true, you're correct, and I am stuttering through this because I am a fool. Does Boris have something that Franz doesn't? He has White Cloak of Ulrich, and he has Crush the Weak. Crush the Weak is an extra leadership debuff. As he dives down on these Minotaurs, they're already down to 12 leadership, but can they stay in the fight? Their leadership is so low, but every shot they can get onto Boris Todbringer is going to be huge. Cascading Fire Cloak kept him safe to this point, but now it has worn off. He's down to only 40 melee defense, but these Minos are getting real low. The cannons are back online. They're trying to get a shot off onto the Zongors, but the Incarnate Elemental Beast is behind them, but I really want to see what's going on with these Minotaurs versus Boris. They turn their back on him, abandoning that fight, as I guess they just weren't getting much done. The Bright Wizard's charging straight into them. Oh no, that is a dead Bright Wizard, as the Minos get a good fight, but now they get rear charged by Boris. Once again, their leadership is falling. Goes to -2 as the crossbows also keep shooting into him. Oof, and that is a healthy Mino taken out of the fight. No, 3 leadership. They managed to rally. They take out the Bright Wizard. Ah, there they go. They finally rout. Empire's ahead on the balance power, and I do tend to agree. The Beastmen are getting some of their troops back, but none of these guys are going to matter versus Boris. It is entirely on the Incarnate and the Butchers. Those are the only 2 units that won't rout immediately. Because if Boris lands anywhere near these guys, all 3 of the infantry are going. What are the chances we get a Lizardman DLC? 10 in 1. 10 in 1. I see. I see. It was just a pun. Nagash versus Thankful. I could see us getting Thankful. I just don't know what other stuff we're going to get. And some people say Storm Fiends and such, and that's fine, but, like, I'm a Skaven main, and even I acknowledge that there are... Out of the 24 factions of the game, there are 18 that need DLC more than Skaven. You missed manually firing the cannon at the Incarnate. Nice. Yeah, I did miss that. So all of these units are a non-factor. As soon as Boris gets even close to them, they're just going to rout. It doesn't matter. I do think the Beastmen probably have this game, because the Butcher's Accountant Guard and the Incarnate are healthy enough that they can finish off Boris. They don't need the support. So here comes Boris. I don't know why he's not charging into them right now. There we go. Gets a good shot on the Incarnate. Spearmen are gone. Those Ungor Raiders are gone. And these Zongors are both about to be hitting the road. There goes those Zongors. There goes those Zongors. Wow, human boy, how could you have known? I know things sometimes, you guys. I know things. I know that all those guys are so low that Boris just doesn't care about them. All right. Incarnate died. But the Butchers are here. They're almost heal capped. Boris is heal capped, and there's no more charging for him, so he is stuck just fighting these Butchers. The Butchers do want to spread out, though. They're currently way too clumped up, so they're not getting enough models. You can do that by just, like, right-click dragging to make them back into a line and then order them to attack Boris, and they'll surround him much more effectively. So that is a bit of a whoopsie from the Beastmen right now, and it is going to hurt them here. Boris is not taking a lot of damage, but he's only fighting 2 or 3 Minotaurs at a time instead of the whole unit. And he's whittling them down. They used to have a pretty good HP advantage on him. Now they don't. They're about 1,000 ahead. ×2 speed as they continue to battle it out. But they're really not hitting Boris. Zongors rejoin the fight for a brief moment, and then they rout. Now the Butchers try and get a better surround, but again, they came in at this, like, square block formation, not really surrounding him. So I think that they're just going to rout away from Boris any second now, because they're just not getting enough damage out quickly enough. Foe Seeker trying to keep him out of the exhausted territory. Butchers back off, but they just take a rear charge from Boris. All of the infantry they retreated to immediately routed and shattered, leaving them alone. 12 leadership, continuing to fight against Boris. He's down to 1,200 HP. They're at 1,500, but their leadership hits 0. Gets back up to 4. Down to 10. 10 leadership. 800 HP left for Boris, 1,200 for the Butcher's Accountant Guard. They're down to 1,000 as Boris gets a big shot onto them, and Foe Seeker keeping him out of the exhausted to keep his leadership up a little bit higher. He's down to 600 HP. Butcher's Accountant Guard are at 900. 4 leadership for them. 600 for Boris, still 800, and there they go. They will rout eventually. Good game from both players. Butcher's Accountant Guard and the Incarnate Elemental Beast both getting about 2,400 value is nice. The other Minotaurs also did amazingly. Malagor did fine. Zongors did alright. And then Dogs did okay, kinda. For Fire Potato, Boris 3,000 value and just a ton of routes. Tattered Souls also did pretty well. Hammer the Witches really struggled to get his value back, unfortunately. Empire Knights did okay. Crossmen did pretty well for the first time in their lives. That's a GG. That is a G. G. I'll load this up while I check my messages. What is it? Who wants things from me? Versus Darth. Darth. Versus Lowry. Yeah, versus Yashkaf. Where is the cast versus Khorne? Okay. Single Mino Great Weapon would have won the game. Maybe. Hindsight's 2020. Though the Minotaur shields was trying to keep them safe from like huntsmen and stuff, so it's tough, man. Okay. Wood Elves versus Beastmen. For the Wood Elves, we have Wildwood Rangers, 3 of them. 2 Dryads. We have a Glade Lord with his Helm of Discord. He is on his Stag mount, so still armor-piercing, but not a dragon. Beastcaster with Flock of Doom and Wissen's Wild Form. Some Eternal Guard, 1 Deepwood Scout with Swift Shiver Shards, then the Wild Hunters of Khorne, Wild Riders, and a Zote. A very, very diverse Wood Elf army. On this side, for the Beastmen, we have Gore Herds, Ungor Spearman Herds, 3 Ungor Raiders, some Centaurs on both flanks, 2 Throwing Axes, 2 regular. The Vorgablar Jabberscythe Regiment of Renown, the Bloodbrute Behemoth Gorgon Regiment of Renown, and then a Great Bright Shaman of Beasts with only Flock of Doom. So double Flock of Doom. All the infantry are going to be slowly whittled to death in this game. The Ungor Raiders are taking their day out on the poor Dryads who are about to rout, and Wild Rangers were also not really happy about that. They don't have any missile resist. They have very little armor. Ungor Raiders are perfect versus them. Glade Lord's trying to retreat from all these Ungor Spearmen now. Doesn't look like it's particularly going his way as the Centaurs and their monsters continue to advance. But one Gore Horde is already routing from a rear charge by the Wild Hunters of Khorne. Blar, wandering forward, knuckling the ground. When does it start that juicy charge animation? There it is. As it goes flying into the air. He landed on his own Centaurs, so it didn't count towards the Deepwood Scouts. Shame. Deepwood Scouts are under duress. We'll need these Wild Riders to turn around and charge with the Wild Hunters of Khorne and sandwich in the Centaurs to get out really, really good value. It looks like the Wild Riders, for now, are just piecing out Naturel. Centaurs fighting Zotes. Zotes love that. Zotes do not like getting hit in the back with throwing axes and Ungor Raiders that are still creeping in. A Flock of Doom overcasted some Wild Rangers, and the archers do need to stop and shoot at these guys, because Wild Rangers will get through their Beastmen infantry rather quickly. There we go. The Wild Rider sandwiches in, and at the price of 1 Deepwood Scout, we got 2 Centaurs. So that's nice. The Wood Elves like that. They need to back off from the Bloodbrute Behemoth and the Vargablar and chase down their gains in the form of the Centaurs. Come back for these guys in the late game, because currently blobbing up on them just isn't doing that much, unfortunately. I guess they do have the Glade Lord with the Helm of Discord, but it already wore off and they didn't really get that much damage out. Flock of Doom from the Wood Elves onto the Beastmen hits a whole bunch of units. And the Wild Rangers taking a lot of damage from these Ungor Raiders, but they are getting through that front line. The Beastmen front line is about to collapse as all 3 of these Ungor Spearman herd are going to rout, leaving just a Gore Herd and archers to hold down the fort. Centaurs charge back in to help out a little bit more. Wild Hunters of Khorne are having a terrible time fighting the Bloodbrute Behemoth, even with spears nearby. He has a very small model. It's hard to make contact with, so killing him in melee can be tough if you're not a hyper-elite halberd. Vargablar is charging straight through Spearmen, doesn't care about them at all. The Wild Rangers have prevailed in the frontline fight, but is it in time? Wild Riders, too, also need to probably go attack the archers for a bit. Gotta take that fresh fish while you can. Wildwood Rangers getting very low. The Vargablar will probably finish them off. Its Mortis Engine type thing, just from being a giant Jabberscythe, is gonna do some damage to them, take those guys down. And it sunders their armor to 10, which makes them even more vulnerable, as they already were against these Ungor Raider archers. Oh, the poor elite Wood Elves. What's become of you? Killed by basic Ungor Raiders. In the background, Spears plus Deepwood Scouts plus the Glade Lord have actually done a lot of damage to the Bloodbrute Behemoth. He is still fighting on those Eternal Guard, which is not wise for him. Does need to back off, needs to get away from those guys. Vargablar continues to whittle down the front line of the Wood Elves. The Wood Elves are in the backfield. And I think this is the turning of the tide. I think the Wood Elves are going to start to take the lead here as they'll shut down all of the archers of the enemy. And then it's some monsters, but you have Zotes, you have some archers, we have spears. They have some tools to still take out these big monsters as long as the archers are all dead. And then I think they'll be fine. The Wood Elves should have the mobility advantage going into the late game. They should be able to chase down all of their things that they've gotten routing from the Beastmen. And still, the Bloodbrute Behemoth is not having a good day, as he's chased down by spears and the Zotes. What up, Edwin? Wild Rider is actually going to rear charge into him. I don't know about that. It feels like diminishing returns. Like, we cannot allow these Ungor Raiders to get back online and firing into all of these Wood Elves. So Vargablar. Her Mortis Engine only works when your leadership is lowered. And getting shot by archers, a flock of doom on them as well, might do enough shock damage to lower their leadership so that that Mortis engine really starts applying again. Deepwood scouts are firing in. Varga taking a lot of damage from the Tzeentch. All's not lost. And the Jabberscythe is retreating away from the Glade Lord. Its healing is only active when it's in melee. So now it's starting to heal as he's rear charging it. There we go. But he's getting good shots in. It's overall worth it. Beastmen are recovering a couple of their lost assets since the Wood Elves have not used their Wild Riders to chase that stuff down until now. Maybe they are. But there's Centaurs that are trying to kill off the Wildwood Rangers. Things like that. Varga still going nuts in the backfield. But I don't know, man. I don't know if the Beastmen got this. There's still a good amount of Tzeentch. There's a very healthy Helm of Discord Duelist Lord. And the Bloodbrute Behemoth is gone. His healing can't save it as he's getting chased down by this guy. 54 HP. His bow might even take it out as he's chasing it down. Gorgon is dead. Wild Riders are terror-outing away from the Varga. Though some archers are coming back and Centaurs with throwing axes shatter two different Wildwood Rangers. What matchup is good for the Beastmen? Incarnate Elemental Beasts? Almost every. Incarnate Elemental Beasts is amazing. It's an amazing unit. It's really, really good. We just saw it versus Empire. We saw it versus Vampire Counts. It's good versus both. I mean, it's an unbreakable Mortis engine, large duelist that's fast. It's hard not to make use out of the thing. Tzeentch are getting drained down by that Aura of Madness. Their leadership is low enough, and getting rear charged by Centaurs with throwing axes could actually seal their fate. They're not ITP. They might tear out away here. And can this Glade Lord, who's below half HP and only on a horse mount, can he hang? Looks like he maybe can. Helm of Discord should come out from him soon. It should be off cooldown. And then he can beat up the Varga. It's down to 1400 HP and getting close to routing. Centaurs throwing axes are also routing away, and that might be the end of the Beastmen right here as the Varga gets going. And that was really the last point of power they had. Army Losses takes out the Beastmen in a very close game. But the Wood Elves will clutch it out. Their melee Lord. Okay. Round 1 has mostly started. Sorry, round 4 has mostly started. There's one game left in round 3. For Forex, Flock of Doomcaster did fine. Gorgon and Jabberscythe did fine. Centaurs, mixed value. Gore Herds, mixed, not great. Ungor Raiders did amazing. Ungor Spearman Herds got rolled. For Trogdar, Melee Lord did fantastically. Tzeentch also did amazing work. Wild Riders did fine. Wild Rangers killed some stuff. Not a lot of value, but they killed some stuff. And the one Deepwood Scout got a ton of value, 1900. Okay, that was that. Continue up with Mossy's Tzeentch versus Galroch's Beastmen. Oh boy, that is a lot of Beastmen today. That is a lot of Beastmen. Alright. What does ITP mean? Immune to psychology. They can't terror out. And their leadership is not lowered by fear. Yeah. Okay, Beastmen versus Tzeentch. 3 Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch. We have the Severed Claw, some Sour Guts, the Pink Horror's Regiment around, a Blue Horror front line, Aecold, Hellbrass, and then an Exalted Lord of Change of Tzeentch with blue and pink fire. For the Beastmen, front line of Ungor Herds and Ungor Spearman Herds. We do have some Archers, some Minotaurs with shields, and then a bunch of Centaurs, 6 total. 4 with throwing axes, 2 without, and then Malagor Dark Omen. He brought his Cygor summon, which I could not disagree more with. I hate the Cygor, and I hate the Cygor summon even more, because it's a temporary Cygor. It's a temporary bad unit. Enfeebling Flow and Flock of Doom are both fine, but Savage Dominion just sucks. It sucks, Cygors suck, and a Pink Fire hits some Ungor Raiders for a little bit of poke damage. Already, we're about to lose 2 Ungor Herds from the rainbow-colored assortment of fire hitting them in the face, and a third one is almost going too. But they're just little Ungor Spearman Herds, it's fine. Beastmen are okay losing them. Minotaur's getting to work on the Blue Horrors, and Centaur's still wrapping around for an extended flank. Now gets some fights with Blue Horrors. I wonder how well they'll do versus the Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch. Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch should do more damage at range, but they'll lose in melee. They'll want to run away from these Centaurs. Looks like they do get caught out a little bit, which is tough for them. And then a Flock of Doom from Malagor. Yeah, an Overcast of Flock of Doom hits all three of these Skirmish Cav, lowering their shields, getting rid of those, and making the Centaurs actually do real damage. We have a Fury Summon, a Natural Fury, and a Natural Screamer running around. I somehow missed the Fury and Screamer. I wonder where they were deployed earlier. But the Exalted Lord of Change of Tzeentch is terror-outing off some Ungor Raiders, trying to buy his Pink and Blue Horrors a bit of time, not being harassed by those guys. Pink Fire goes down the line, doing a third HP off of Ungor Spearman Herd, but the Tzeentch front line is not holding. The Horrors are taking a lot of damage. Skirmish Cap's also not feeling too great. Minos trying to avoid the Severed Claw. The extremely elite Halberds, Aspiring Champion ROR, they'll wreck the Minotaurs very, very easily as this Blue Horror is about to Demonic Instability crumble. We have some Marauder Horsemen routing off. Other ones are chilling, though. Where did the Centaurs go that used to be chasing them? It looks like they somehow got away from those guys. As the real Furies and the Fury Summons are going to kill off more Archers, the Beastmen having troubles keeping any of their ranged units online. Something just got overcast. It was an overcast of Flock of Doom onto the Sour Guts and the Blue Horrors. Oh, okay, that's a pretty good one. Blue Fire shot at Malagor misses because he's a tiny target moving extremely quickly. There's not a lot to do there. Pink Horror hits some more Centaurs, doing a little bit more damage. Blue Horror is fading away. Other ones running out of ammunition. The bounce power is slightly favoring Tzeentch for now. One Blue Horror almost going to shatter. Another one's actually pretty close if the Minos charge it. I wonder if they feel like rear charging these Marauder Spearmen. They're on a downhill, so that would be an even better charge. And of course they're not braced if they're not facing you. Rock Tosser, you've never heard multiplayer lingo? Well, we're always here for you if you want to hear more. Anyway, another big Flock of Doom hits 3 different units. The Screamer is going to get killed off soon here. Same with the Sour Guts. Blue Horrors are already fading away. Tzeentch is running out of random chaff. They've lost most of their Marauder Horsemen. 2 of them are going to rout off the map on the distance. 1 barely rallied next to the edge. We still have 4 Throwing Axes. That actually should probably shoot at the Severed Claw. They could do really good damage there. And here go the Sour Guts. Demonic Instability Crumbling is 3 leadership away from happening as they start to rally a little bit. There, now they tip over the edge. A lot of Demonic Instability Crumbling, a lot of units getting lost, and Tzeentch falls behind on the balance of power. As Galroch's Throwing Axes are trying to kite out the Severed Claw, do decent damage, but they need to avoid the Exalted Lord of Change of Tzeentch, who just landed on their buns. And his second and final Fury Summon is out. A real Fury is still chasing off the Ungor Raiders. It's not going to fade away with time. The Exalted Lord of Change of Tzeentch is being a pain in the butt for the Beastmen. As Art Splash is saying in chat, it is true. Throwing Axes here are the really only thing you can do with the Severed Claw, and they are getting good damage out. These guys are unshielded, heavily armored, but with armor-piercing Throwing Axes. You don't care about that as much, so they are just unshielded and vulnerable to these types of attacks. Minotaurs tried to fight Aecold for a bit. They didn't even get through his shields before having to run away, and these Chaos Fury summons have about 35 seconds left in them before the Throwing Axes will be that much safer. To continue their work against the Severed Claw, we're now down to almost half HP after being full just a moment ago. Ungor Raiders are back. Now, what are we going to do about this Lord of Change, you guys? He's still full health. Aecold's still full health. Half health on the Severed Claw. I am worried for the Beastmen. Minos coming over to say hello. Doesn't look like it matters too much. 4 seconds left on these Furies, and then they'll fade away. Overcasted Blue Fire does get rid of the shields of the Tzeentch caster. Pokes Malagor down a little bit. Shields will come back. Malagor's health will not. Severed Claw, half HP and falling as Minotaurs get a nice charge, and they won't want to stay for too long or the Severed Claw will really turn the tide on them. Oh, nice pink fire through both the Centaurs. Then a rear charge from the Exalted Lord Change. Probably is going to rout these guys. And the Grog Hooves are now throwing at him as his other Centaurs are just kind of out of range of anything. So I wonder if they'll throw at him on default. Doesn't look like they have Fire at Will on those. They're not actually going to throw at anything. 2 Centaurs throwing X's routed off. Severed Claw getting lower and lower. And here is a Cygor summon in the middle of them trying to fight it off. We'll see. I guess I don't care about him taking a ton of damage from the Severed Claw, but is he going to get that much damage out? He has 44 melee attack. They have 52 melee defense. Ugh. I hate Cygors. I don't know if you knew that, but I hate them. I might have brought it up once or twice. Severed Claw going to tear out away from the Cygor in just a second here. They are not ITP. Though a tier 3 army ability of Tzeentch is going to hit. We'll see if the Beastmen can dodge it. So far, it looks like no. They are just going to sit in it, and that is a big problem. Though the Exalted Lord Change of Tzeentch is also way overextended. He's fighting Malagor on the ground, getting attacked by Centaurs and throwing axes and all this stuff. The tier 3 army ability of Tzeentch did take out 2 infantry units. A little bit of the Grog Hooves, a little bit of the Minos. They kind of half-dodged it. Big pink fire into all these Centaurs, but still the Exalted Lord changes, taking damage, enfeebling flow, lowering him down to 26 melee defense. But he's terror-outing off some of the Centaurs that were chasing him around. Cygor still trying to fight. Severed Claw getting very low, less than 1,000 HP as the Minotaurs charge in and charge out. And our Lord of Change does not appear to be getting back in the sky anytime soon. Minotaurs are even going to join the fight versus him as throwing axes come over the top. Terror out in from the Severed Claw. Their leadership goes negative, so they might actually rout. There it is. They could be followed off the map. And a Bolt of Change plus a Blue Fire both hit Malagor, doing a little bit of damage. Exalted Lord changed real low. Real low. The Cygor summon is gone. Can Aecold and a full health Fury in the distance carry this game? Exalted Lord Change is trying to get away from the Minotaurs. We'll see if Centaurs collapse in on him just to keep him on the ground or not. It looks like or not is the option. Exalted Lord Change still taking poke damage here and there. Not quite in that demonic instability realm yet. He does get a charge attack off onto Malagor, though he misses the actual hit. Throwing axes are still out here. They are going to throw with this Exalted Lord of Change. Demonic instability bringing him down. That's nice, consistent damage the Beastmen really need. That's the end of him. And without him, these Furies are not going to be a problem at all. Without the Lord of Change, their leadership at full HP is going to dip so far. They're at 23 HP as a full health unit. That's fucked up. I hate how low Fury's leadership is, man. Severed Claw, 340 HP, still routing, as Aecold is now surrounded by throwing axes and chaff. Furies get a free charge onto the Centaurs. Do they even last in this fight? Their leadership does go up for a bit since they got the free charge, but I am just curious how long they lost versus the Centaurs they charged. 8 leadership on the Centaurs. It is falling down to 4, but the Chaos Furies are just about out of shields. They're going to start taking real damage in the distance. Aecold's chilling. Is the Centaurs -3 leadership? They will rout. The Furies did beat the almost dead Centaurs that they got to charge. Congratulations. Aecold is getting throwing axe kited for now. Looks like nobody really wants to deal with him. Some decent damage out. Minotaurs are going for a charge. Boop, boop, boop. Minotaur's honestly going to take some friendly fire from the throwing axe. They want to be careful with that. As these other throwing axes go into melee briefly, they'll need to back off so they can use their ammo elsewhere. And the Furies at 17 leadership are trying to rejoin the fight by rear charging some Ungor Spearman herds. The Ungor Spearman herd's gonna rout any second now. The Fury's still taking a little bit of damage. Over here, you're just seeing Aecold get kited up by the throwing axes, which is good play from the Beastmen. They just know they gotta whittle him down slowly. Someone please go kill that Chaos Fury. just kill it. Enfeebling foe and Aecold lowering his melee defense down to 26, and that's really all we care about. But the Minotaurs are getting low, Centaurs are getting real low. Tzeentch is behind on the balance of power, and the Chaos Furies are here at last. Charging in onto the Centaurs and Ungor Raiders, but a rear charge from Malagor might take them out. 12 leadership, 9. There they go. Say goodbye to the Furies. Say goodbye to Aecold's last support. They now crumble away in the air. Aecold is alone. His throwing axes continue to kite him. I'll just fast forward through that. Centaurs cycle charging a little bit to refresh those bonuses. Throwing axes get any opportunistic shots they can. Malagor hovers overhead as Minos repile into Aecold. Army losses getting real close for Tzeentch. Throwing axes get some good volleys off. I don't know if there's his heal cap at last, but he still has a good amount of healing to go. We'll see if he can hold on. Everybody charges in on him at the last second. Centaurs shatter. Malagor backs off without taking too much damage. Malagor charges in again. It's a little risky because if Malagor dies, then the Beastmen lose, but He prevails, taking out Aecold. Aecold beat an entire Cathay Destroyer earlier, but he couldn't beat some angry cows. It was a good game. It was a close game. GG's. Scrolling through the values, Centaurs with throwing axes did pretty darn well. Basic Centaurs also did very well. And then Ungor Blanks all got massacred. Alright, what do I have? What do I have here? How are we doing on that bracket? Fine enough that I have to start doing math, don't I? Okay. I'll give you each 0.5. Now it's everyone's favorite part of the stream, and if you don't like math, then it's not your favorite part of the stream. Here's the bracket, and now I gotta figure out what's going on score-wise. We'll get back to casting games in just a second. So let's do Derthu. Forex. Out there. Mossy. Trogdor. Laura. Face. Mercury. Hot Fiery. Wanky. Spartan. Longboy. And Yash. Okay. Derthu got a win. Mossy got a win. Trogdor got a win. Merc got a win. These two can't play because they can't connect to each other, so I give them each 0.5, 1, and 0.5 because got a bye round. Great. Next round, Out There got 1. Derthu got 1. Hot Fire Potato got 1. Lowry got 1. Trogdor got 1. Longboy and Wanky played, and Longboy won it. He told me in DMs, so now I can get rid of it. There. Now I can stop marking that as unread. Alright, round 3. Oh, yes, okay. Round 3. Derthu got 1. Out There got another one. Hot Fiery Potato and Mercury got 0.5. Mercury's power went out, though, so I'll just do it for Hot Fiery. 0.5. Mossy got 1. Forex got 1. And then Wanky and Lowry still haven't played that round. Weird. They must still be in game because neither of them has played the round 4 either. Okay, so that's still to be determined. I'm going to highlight that so I don't forget it. So it's Wanky and Lowry. Okay. And then round 4, what do we have so far? Out There got another 1. Hot Fiery got another 1. Forex got another 1. And Yashkaf was going to have 0.5, but they're fighting Lowry because Spartan dropped and they got 2 bye rounds, which is fucked. Okay. So we're still figuring some things out. Equals sum of all these. Boop. And then who's done? So Out There and Trogdor are done. I'll do orange for that. Out There and Trogdor are done. Longboy and Hot Fiery Potato are done. Forex and Face are done. Yes. Cool. Spartan's done. Spartan played 1 game, they're out. Merc is done. Their power went out. Okay, so out of the oranges, people who are done, we already have 3s. So I think 2 and below are eliminated. Because there's just no way that I'll need that many people. Lowry has 2 games left to play, so they could become a 3. Mossy has 1 game left. They could become a 3. Wanky has 2 games left. Could become a 2.5. I'll wait on that one. And then Yash has 2 games left. Could become a 2.5. So I'll wait on the 2.5s. But if your color is in red, that means you're not making it into the post-Swiss stage, no matter what happens. All right, no other scores have been reported in the moment, but yeah. Forex, Trogdor, Face, Mercury, Spartan, and Longboy, thank you for your service tonight. Hot Fiery and out there, Durthu, just waiting to see what the end scores end up being. So I'll keep casting while we wait for those. Oh, you won the game between you and Lowry. You don't know how to report the results. Okay. Should be an up and down arrow thing if you click it. But I'm doing manual tonight, so it's fine. All right, so Wanky won here versus Lowry. So Wanky got a dub there. Boop. Oops. Oh, wait, no, that's not oops. That's fine. There we go. So Wanky got a dub. He's at 1.5. He could get 2.5 if he wins versus Mossy. Cool. So it looks like all we're waiting on is Lowry versus Yash, Wanky and Mossy, and then Durthu and Merc. Seems legit. Oh. Mossy sent me their game. Who won? That'd actually be helpful right now. Mossy! Hey, Wall! Okay. So, Wanky ends at 1.5, meaning he is knocked out of, like, semifinal stuff. It's good shit tonight, Wanky. You got a dub on the board, which not everyone could say. Mossy got another win. So now Mossy is done and in the post thing. And Lowry can only win 1 more game, so he's out. Because he'd get to 2. Where did Yash end up in this? Yash lost twice, so Yash can't make it. Okay, cool. So we have our finals. Yeah, we have our finals, so I can tell them to get started. I forgot, Merc dropped, so Durthu's gets like a 0.5 there, so he's a 3.5, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Okie dokie. We have a top 4. Durthu. Oh, it's Galroch, my bad. Galroch. Okay, that's confusing looking. Galroch. And out there? Did they just fight? Just making sure I don't have anybody fight again. Out there fought Trogdor. Okay, cool. Goes out there. And then Mossy. And Hot Fiery. God damn it. Okay. So, our semifinals is starting. I am now done with math. For anybody whose games are still ongoing, feel free to finish them for fun. Send me the replays. I'll stream them if I can. But our top 4 is decided. So they'll be doing those. Cool. Let's get back to casting some Swiss games until those semifinals are ready for us, huh? Sorry about that math diversion. It always happens. We always got to get ready for that finals. Mossy will be catching up with their own games. I mean, 3-1, it got you to the thing. Trogdor, you brought the Wild Rangers to fight Zongors. That's Pog. Is Merc back or Power still out? Seems like Power's still out. Okay. Alright, no more math. No more math, everybody. Just games for the rest of the stream. So we have Archaon the Everchosen and some Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes. We do have 2 Chaos Knights, Marauders in the front line, Aecold Hellbrass, and then 2 Chosen of Khorne. For the Norskins, Norscan Ice Wolves and Marauder Horsemen throwing axes on each flank. Berserkers, Marauders with great weapons, Marauder Champions, 2 Marauder Hounds of Javelins, Wulfric the Wanderer on horseback with all of his buffs, and a Balefiend of Shadows with Pendulum and Melkoths. Let's go. What do you think of the Nurgle-barked Beastmen be like, and what role will they play in both Nurgle and the Beastmen? For the Beastmen, they'll probably have pretty high melee defense and maybe some regen, maybe? They'll be tanky, which the Beastmen isn't used to having. Elsewhere, I don't think they'll see much play. They will see play on the Nurgle roster because they'll be fast for a Nurgle unit, but not very fast in general. I think the Warriors of Chaos almost never take Beastmen of Nurgle. Anyway, the front lines have collided. Marauders fighting against Marauder Champions, and Marauder Champions should win that. Even with Aecold supporting the Marauder Champions, will probably kill the other Marauders before routing. And the Skin Wolves and Norscan Ice Wolves are doing very well on the flanks. They're now fighting Chaos Knights, though, which is a much harder task. We'll see if Wulfric can give them any support, or these Marauder Hunters with Javelins can throw in. Even though they're not armor-piercing, they have significant bonus versus large on those Javelins, so if they throw it to the Chaos Knights, they'll get a lot of damage out. Wulfric does send a ship a sailing, but he misses the Chosen of Khorne. Actually does a little bit more damage onto his Marauders than I'm thinking he was hoping to. Archaon trapped in some Marauders, takes about a third of their HP with 1 Searing Doom, and now Chosen of Khorne are onto the Marauder Hunters with Javelins, pushing those guys back. They're heavy shields, they're doing just fine. I brought you over here, right? Yes, I did. I was worried you were all still staring at the total tabbing screen. Forex and Yashkaf sending some love. If you are in the stream chat right now, we do have a new player tournament at this time every other week, because every other week besides that will be in the EU time zone. But if you're an NA late night gamer, we've got you every other week. Chaos Knight's gonna die. They're surrounded by Skin Wolves and Norscan Ice Wolves. They're slowed down to a point where they could just be pursued. These Marauder Horse and Throwing Axes are holding them in place. Good job by Norsca on the flanks so far, really dominating stuff over there. Meanwhile, Archaon is stuck. Not Archaon. Wulfric the Wanderer. Archaon Light. He is stuck fighting Aecold. Looks like Aecold's trading back effectively. Now, Aecold has healing. Wulfric does not. Chosen of Khorne getting kited a little bit by the Norscan troops, but they can tank through it just fine. They'll be okay. The Brutes of the Hound are chasing some Marauders off to the edges of the earth. Marauder Champions are also chasing Marauder Horsemen around. So a little unfortunate here from Norsca that they have 2 very expensive, very healthy infantry units chasing stuff off into the distance that they really don't need to be doing. Their flank pressure has been really good. I've really liked how Norsca played with their Ice Wolves, with their Skin Wolves, with all that stuff. I've liked how they've played with Wulfric overall. That one Sea Fang was a bit of a whiff, and then some of these infantry running off is a bit of a mistake. On the side of the Warriors of Chaos, I think Chosen of Khorne just suck. I do. I think they're trash. I think the Chosen of Khorne dual weapons are amazing. But aside from build things, they've been playing pretty well. Archaon spell usage has been on point. Aecold's chilling and vibing. So I think besides the Chosen of Khorne, the Warriors of Chaos build makes a lot of sense, and their play's been pretty darn good between both these players. Jacob, see y'all in 2 weeks then. Really enjoyed the tournament despite playing like a true noob, getting your ass kicked. Yashkov. Hey man, you get better every single time. You get a lot better at the start. Actually, what's funny for me is I think the hardest part is not getting started. The hardest part is the middle. Because when you start playing, you make such progress so quickly, it's satisfying. Even if you're losing, it's satisfying just to watch yourself play better. And then you hit the real slump. The real slump is when you stop getting the free improvements, like don't forget units, or don't run cavalry into halberds and leave them there, or pick better spells. When you get past those improvements, the really hard part is when you're still losing more than half your games, but all of the freebies are gone. So to get better at the game, you need to learn very nuanced things like, you know, is if Skinwolves fighting anti-large cav, is that worth it or not? Because they want to fight cav, but are the anti-large cav worth it? You know, when is it worth it to bring Chosen versus Chaos Warriors versus just Marauders? And, like, those things take a lot of time, and it's rough. Because you kind of get to the point where you're like, I'm past new player tournaments, but I still lose every single game to, like, Chosen One and Hanadins and Alfredino and Strat Game and people like that. And you're like, how do I go from being okay to being good? I don't know. I think that's the hardest part. Skinwolves surround Archaon. This is a rare good moment for them. Armor of Morcar and Slayer of Kings pop for him, and he's getting some... Ooh, wait, no, those are not his Marauders. Those are enemy Marauders. Okay, Archaon's in the shit right now. He's not enjoying it. He runs away. Now some of his Marauders show up, but they're so weak that I don't think even he really wants them around. Aecold and Archaon are the last strength of the Warriors of Chaos here. Wulfric is pretty low, so is Familiar Balefiend Friend. But they have a lot of Marauder champions. They have Skinwolves. They're doing fine and chilling. They're vibing. Brutes of the Hound are fighting Aecold, and Brutes of the Hound can actually beat him up. With their high melee attack and their high bonus versus infantry, they can get through his 50 melee defense. That usually is what keeps him safe. So they're fine. They're fine with this. They're happy to kill Aecold. Once again, I do need to just say, when you're trying to surround a single entity, you do sometimes have to give movement orders like this. I know that's an arrow, so that wasn't the greatest example, but you just order your units to stand like this and then give them an attack order, and they'll really filter in around Aecold instead of fighting him like 3 at a time like that. Just an FYI. Well, Falkovich, if you want, we do have our best of 1 practice pit. We have our Vermin League best of 3 games, if you're looking for that. We also just have a looking for games chat on our Discords. If you're looking for people to fight that aren't just randos, we got you. The server has actually been very active recently. Archaon takes the final fight with Wulfric the Wanderer, but Hunter of Champions debuffed, surrounded by Skinwolves, and getting pushed away. It is too much for the Lord of the End Times, and he does shatter. GG. Alright, I was checking on some messages from random people. That was a pretty close game. Chosen of Khorne struggled to pay for themselves. They were a good centerpiece and just slowly pushed up, but they were largely ignored until they could be peeled apart. It was still Aecold and Archaon doing a lot of the work. For Long Boy, some Marauder champions were there for him in the end, but it is really the winners of the day, always for Norsca, is the Skinwolves and those Ice Wolves. They're just amazing on the flanks. They do really great work. Wulfric and the Famir did fine. Yeah. Bluth, I agree. I agree that is a thing. Okay. We have Galroch versus Egg. Oh, no, not Doomdiver Catapults. I hate them. I hate them so much. They're such a bad unit. Oh, I need something to drink. Beer beat! I'm back. I'm back. Oh, I'm back. Oh, wait, why did you take two Okay, why'd you take 2 Doomdiver Catapults at all? And why'd you take 2 Doomdiver Catapults on this map? Bro. It's a tiny map. Alright, for the Greenskins of Galroch, we have triple Wolf Rider Archers, one of which is the Morgan's Vineyard Marauders armor-piercing ones. 4 Goblin Spider Riders, 2. For 4 Skirmish Cav total from the Greenskins, 2 Doomdiver Catapults, a front line of Squig Herds and Goblins. We do have a Giant River Troll Hag, Grimgore Ironhide, Nasty Skulkers, the Rusty Arrows, and 2 Orc Boar Barbarians, one of which is the Broken Tusks Mob. On the other side for Khorne, we have 2 Marauder Horsemen throwing axes, 2 Flesh Hounds of Khorne. We have double Cultist, both of which brought their summon, which is illegal. You can only bring 1 summon of the same type. Just FYI for the future, but neither player raised the concern, so it's too late now. This game, however this game goes, is how this game goes. We have Valkyria the Bloody, Exalted Bloodletters, and then Marauders of Khorne with dual weapons. Love the streams, though I watch them afterwards. Also been enjoying the lore videos. Have you read any of the Gash stuff? I have not read anything about Nagash specifically. I have read some vampire books. I've had success with Doom Divers versus Elf Infantry. 2 seems overkill. They're doing alright versus these Exalted Bloodletters, but just alright. That is 2 of them firing in at 1 Exalted Bloodletter. Khorne is unfortunately staggering their advance, which is a mistake. They need to get a lot more active in here all at the same time. These guys are starting to move now, but it is turning into too little too late as the goblins and squigs are just killing off whatever they can. And the archers are also firing into things one at a time. With the Fate of Buna plus the archer fire, it looks like that Exalted Bloodletter is going to demonic instability crumble pretty soon. Broken Tusk Mob take a fight with the Flesh Hounds and these Martyr Horsemen of Khorne. Lose about half their HP in the trade, but overall did some good damage on those large targets. Valkyria helps some of her Marauders rout off goblins on the high ground. We'll see how far that can go for him. Double Cultist could beat up on this River Troll Hag. She needs to be careful. She is weak to fire. And Cultist Khorne don't deal fire damage. Never mind. I was worried about nothing. Though they are trying to build up their Bloodletter summons they could chuck out here at any moment. Exalted Bloodletters dying off. Marauders and Marauders dual weapons stacking on top of each other is unfortunate. It's not the most optimal way to use infantry. Generally, you never want to stack 2 of the same thing on each other. Infantry, 2 cavalry, 2 monsters, things like that. They just get in their own way. A Wa is out for the Greenskins, giving them a little bit more leadership and stats, but Squig Hurves and Orc Warbiggins and Goblins are getting eaten alive by this Khorne front line. So they are getting some good things down. It's just not enough good things as Grimgor is in here fighting. But Valkyria shows up and takes the giant River Troll Hag down to half HP in the blink of an eye. And these cultists of Khorne have got to get out their Gaze of Khorne summons. They have them charged up by now for sure, like 100%. They need to throw both of them out right now because one of them is about to rout. And they really need some more pressure on this battlefield as they're falling behind the balance of power. Fleshhounds get freely charged by the Broken Tusk Mob, getting good damage out there for those guys. And here are those Bloodletter of Khorne summons. Or at least one of them. These guys can kill off some goblins. Valkyria is fighting Grimgor and Nasty Skulkers. She will lose that fight. Grimgor is an amazing duelist. He's not meta for a lot of reasons, but fighting something that opts to fight him is not one of the reasons Grimgor is not considered good. Khorne's still lagging behind a little bit on the advance. They really just have to be pushing the pressure. And that is hurting them quite a lot. Both the Bloodletter summons are out. They'll eat up these goblins for breakfast. Then they need to run back here and kill off these Doomdiver catapults. Mostly for the bounce of power at this point. You just need to get yourself a little bit more leeway before army loss is going to take you out. Because this is the bounce power with 2-3 Bloodletter summons is still that bad for Khorne. Fleshhounds in the distance chasing off goblins are just kind of fucking around. I don't know what they're doing, but they got to come back here. Cultists are going to take out the giant River Troll Hag. A rare win for Khorne, state of this game. Bloodletter's still piling forward, still killing just goblins with their brief time on this earth as one of them fades away, the other one's 10 seconds from fading away. And Grimgor is after Valkyria, even surrounded in her own troops. She's having troubles getting away from the biggest, the baddest, the meanest, the wast. But get away she shall. Bloodletters are both gone, so we are relying on 3 Marauders of Khorne, a full Fleshhound, and an almost dead Cultist to carry this game. Which seems unlikely. Sword of Khorne is out. Actually, really good hit onto the Rusty Errors. Nice stuff there. Taking down to 27 models out of 120. Second and final Wa is popped for the Greenskins. See what they can do with this buff as the Fleshhounds of Khorne that are still in this game trying to hard carry. Valkyria's rolling around. I think she still has a spear. Yeah, she has 1 spear slouch that she could use on like these goblins right here and just take them out. If she really wanted to, she could cast on the Rusty Arrows, but that seems like a waste. Grimgor bodied this cultist. He was just healthy. We saw a little bit ago, and Grimgor beat the shit out of him. Gitsnick is popped. He has a ton of melee attack and a lot of weapon damage for a foot character as he continues to just slap down this Cultist of Khorne. A rear charge in is going to break off these Marauders, and honestly, all that breaking might do army losses for Khorne here. As a Fate of Buna is going to take out the last Fleshhound. Ugh, yeah, that is army losses. GG. GG. The Khorne army was okay. And they had certain plays that went well. They just needed, like, more orders and faster was all they needed. Doom Divers, together, almost paid for one of themselves. Orc Boar Wiggins did fine. Wolf Goblin things did fine. Grimgore did amazing. Look at him go. And Gobos were there. The one true git. It's true. Valkia and her cultists did okay. Oh, there was a Chaos Warrior of Khorne in there. Okay, cool. Good for you. Fleshhounds were fine. Throwing Axes were fine. Marauders did decently well. What spells in multiplayer works just as well in single player, in your opinion? Burning Head is amazing in single player. Flock of Doom is amazing in single player. People underrate that spell. It's carrying me through my Techless campaign right now. Literally every fight I fight with Techless, I get 6,000 plus value just casting Flock of Dooms on things while I cycle charge. But it's also really good multiplayer. We have Trogdor versus Mossy, for I forget who's involved in this game. But no, Flock of Doom's amazing. And it's really good multiplayer too. I've been taking it a ton. Sometimes I'll even, if I'm playing Beastmen, sometimes I'll go Flock of Doom over a Trader King caster. You need to know why you're taking it, but it can be really good. So Burning Head, Flock of Doom. The death spells are really good multiplayer and not very good in single player. Like Spirit Leech is fine, but single player it's just not as important. Healing is also not as important in campaign. It's still good, but like in multiplayer it is the single most OP thing that exists, and in campaign it's fine. Final Transmutation. Final Transmutation and Searing Doom are two spells that are still really good in multiplayer and great in campaign. So yeah, I'd go with those ones. It's because of the old rule release. Everyone's playing Tomb Kings. I don't pay attention to tabletop stuff at all. I have no idea what's going on with that stuff. So, cool. Good for you, Tomb Kings. Anyway, Wood Elves. We have a Glade Rider Spears in the Vanguard. We have the Hawkeyes Jakira Way Watchers, which are very good against demonic factions. They have just good armor-piercing ammo and all that stuff, but they have the Discouraged aura that can get demons to crumble even faster. 2 Deepwood Scouts with Swift Shiver Shards for magic damage. Some Wild Riders, 3 of them. We have the Melee Glade Lord yet again. Ooh, no, this is the Glady! Pravenoth Rayma, an Arrow of Kurnos, and then a Shadows Caster. Cool. For Tzeentch and Mossy, we have 3 Martyr Horsemen of Tzeentch, some Screamers, some Furies, a bunch of blue... blue horrors. They're not pink. No pinks. Blue Horrors, Marauders in the front line. We have a Sorcerer Lord of Tzeentch. We have Aeghold and the Severed Claw. The flying units of Tzeentch are trying to come back and deal with these Wild Riders, and deal with them they shall. Those Wild Riders are taking a ton of damage for their efforts. As the other Wild Riders finish off some Blue Horrors. Glade Riders with their flank do attack some Blue Horrors. Looks like 3 Skirmish Cav of Tzeentch are going to come back and kill off those Glade Riders without much issue, though. Marauders somehow made their way onto the Deepwood Scouts. Looks like they forcibly passed the Eternal Guard with shields trying to get away from them. John Denver reference. What did I accidentally do? I don't know. Whatever I did, it was an accident. Hawkeyes of Jakira, that Discouraged aura, takes the Furies of Tzeentch down below negative, and then they're going to Demonic Instability crumble. Really, really like the Hawkeyes of Jakira versus demonic factions. But yeah, Tzeentch is taking a lot of damage in this early game, though the Wood Elves aren't exactly getting that damage for free. They did lose a Wild Rider almost entirely. And that is a nasty Pit of Shades from the Wood Elves. Hits 2 different infantry units, kills a Marauder and kills a Blue Horror at the same time. Damn, go Wood Elves, go. Mossy must be doing something right, because he is getting good damage on the balance of power. He's doing fine there. Looks like his pink fires are going well. He is doing a lot of damage to the Eternal Guard front line and whatnot. That's Chaos Spawn Summon that's taking all that damage, so I guess it's fine. His Martyr Horsemen still have a lot of ammo, still have a lot of HP, and they got rid of that Glade Rider. So we'll see where it goes from here. Pravenoth Rayma is out on the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Tzeentch. Is there any follow-up? All of the Wood Elf archers get orders onto him, but can they get in range in time? The Hawkeyes of Jakira started off with a little bit of damage. He is shielded. He is on horseback. It's a small target. Not as small as a foot character, but still a small target. Deepwood Scout's now peppering him a little bit with shots. It's underwhelming, but it is damage. You can't heal it up, so I guess that's fine. If the Hawkeyes of Jakira fire at these Screamers at all, they will crumble away. So I hope that they get at least 1 shot off onto those guys. It's another pink fire goes straight through the Eternal Guard, doing good damage to them. Come on, Hawkeyes, just kill the Screamers. Ooh, actually, he might not want to waste the ammo on it. I guess I could understand that. Screamer's already almost dead. Why bother? One Blue Horror gets going, but the Wild Riders will pay for their sins in death. Blue Horror should be able to take them out too, even on the charge. Gets rid of those guys. For the Wood Elves, 2 of their Wild Riders are essentially dead. Yeah, all 3. All 3 are not feeling good at all. The Pravenoth Rema caster is still trying to fight with this Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Tzeentch and now starting to fall back. There's no healing here for the Wood Elves. They didn't bring it. Only need 3 levels. Olaf the Moose. That's fair. I've just found it less important. In my campaigns, all I need are blob punishment spells, and then I'll win whatever I need. I really haven't needed single target spells, but maybe I'm just a chump. Severed Claw getting peppered by the Wood Elf skirmish components, and as we discussed previously, they have high armor, but they don't have missile resist, and they don't have shields. So they will actually take a lot of damage at range. This is the optimal way to beat them. Tier 3 army ability of Tzeentch launched onto the Wood Elf archers as they try and scatter, but the Hawkeyes lose the plot. Some of them are just not obeying the orders to run away and get lost in the sauce, taking extra damage they didn't need to. They're so spread out and few in model count, they actually didn't take that much damage. It wasn't that bad. Aecold fighting a little bit with the Glade Lord as she charges back and forth. But Mossy has all 3 full health Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch running around in the background. He still has some chaff nearby. His Lord is half HP. Aecold's full. The Severed Claw are half. Can the Wood Elves really kite this out? They have a lot of ammo, but it is precious. It is very precious, precious ammo. As another Pink Fire goes straight through 2 Eternal Guard units. Pravenoth Rema is out onto Aecold Hellbrass, but the archers have walked away. The closer they are, the more of those arrows that would hit, so I'm kind of curious why we did this after they ran away. Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma starting to hurt the Severed Claw a little bit. Aecold really didn't take any damage from that Wood Elf volley. He's feeling fine. The Skirmish Cav are moving in. We have to be very concerned. Honestly, if Mossy took all 3 Skirmish Cav and just ran at these guys, 2 of them would get through, and they would shut down the archers. He can't go in one at a time because things like that's going to happen. That's why all 3 need to be going for the same targets at the same time. One of them does rout off. We'll see if the second volley from those Wood Elf archers can come in soon enough. Marauder Horsemen trying to get around the Eternal Guard. It looks like they are going for it, but they stop. Stopping is dangerous if those Wood Elves get off one more volley. Ziglady is trying to charge into Aecold, knocks him over on her reindeer, and she's going to walk away before he can stand up and retaliate. Melkoth's forces away these Marauder Horsemen, and the sacrifice of 1 did not mean much. Blue Fire is out for the Shadows caster. She's running for the wood. She's trying to get to the trees. Oh, God! That was a good amount of damage. Nice little poke. Marauder Horsemen coming back. Tzeentch is feeling the burn, though. They do not like messing with these Wood Elf archers. Not in the slightest. Deepwood Scouts finish off the Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch, and what was once healthy and powerful is now shattered straight up. But here we go. That's what we wanted the first time, is one is sacrificed, but the other one gets into melee and starts running down the Deepwood Scouts. The other one also coming in that was injured before, and the Hawkeyes of Jakira might have to sacrifice some volleys just to save their Deepwood Scout friends. Deepwood Scouts taking a lot of damage. You know the Marauder Horsemen aren't going to win this combat, but all you really want from them is damage. Precious damage on those archers, taking out models that have been causing you so much ire. Aecold is chilling for now, trying to regenerate a little bit. Get his HP back, get his shields back. Severed Claw with full shields coming back, though shields scale with health, so they don't actually have that much of a shield. You can see it's already gone from 1 volley. But that volley should have been focused on the Marauder Horsemen that now get onto the Wood Elves yet again. Going to chase down some of the Hawkeyes of Jakira at this point. So Wood Elves blundering a bit on the focus fire did not save themselves from these horsemen, and now took severe casualties because of it. Last Pravenoth Rema is out onto the Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch, who are taking some decent damage, though Deepwood Scouts get hit with a pink fire. Other Deepwood Scouts are still trying to get away far enough to rally, and the Hawkeyes of Jakira are just about down. What is that? Arrow of Kurnos, that one. It's some of the Severed Claw. The Deepwood Scouts are still getting orders on the Severed Claw. Please kill these Martyr Horsemen of Tzeentch so that the Hakas of Jakira can get away. Now they rout, but that was a disastrous turn of events for the Wood Elves. I don't think they have enough DPS left to kill everything. I mean, these guys could use all their ammo, and they're just not going to kill Aecold and the Caster Lord and all this shit. Another Melkoth's on the Severed Claw, plus the Hawkeyes of Jakira fire is whittling them down. Other Deepwood Scouts have returned. With under half their models, but the Marauder Horsemen are also back. And the Tzeentch caster gets rammed. His shields kind of keep doing this weird bug thing where they pop up and down for a little bit, but he is taking damage. This lady has good armor piercing, decent stats on the charge. The Severed Claw are getting real low. Can the Wood Elves scrap back into this? I think not, but I've been wrong before. The Blue Fire is set up. Probably going to kill the Sorceress of Shadows. He's just done with her. Wow, a lot of that Blue Fire missed, but army losses hits anyway. Does not matter. GG. It was a very close game. Wood Elf Kite is notoriously hard to execute, and Trogdar did a good job. Hey, he's in chat. What up, dude? He did a good job. There was one flub in the late game that hurt him. Other than that, he was playing it really, really good. But that's like why people say Wood Elf Kite is hard is because the margin of error is so small, right? It's not actually that hard to click on 360 shooting unit and click on expensive target and do big damage. Oh, wow, that was so fucking hard to do. It was hard to net a target and shoot it in the face. Wow, that's so fucking hard to do, human boy. Wood Elves are hard. No, the problem with Wood Elves is if you ever fuck up, you lose half of a unit in the blink of an eye. Or, like, your cavalry can't take a bad fight because they have low armor, very little shielding, and they can lose models quickly, so even if you heal them, they'll be at, like, half effectiveness. That's what's hard about the Wood Elves. And Trogdor was doing really well with that until the end, but it just, like, it was a showcase of, this is why Wood Elves are hard. Like, nope, you fucked up one time, half your army's gone. And it's tough. It's tough, man. For Mossy, he played pretty patiently. I liked when he pulled Aecold and the Severed Clawbacks, just let Aecold regen and get the Severed Claw shields. He played it very patiently. A couple overextensions here and there, and not really committing with the Marauder Horsemen. When there was that moment when all three of them were very much alive and could have all charged in. He charged in with one, it took insane damage, and then he backed off with the other two, and it was like, no, they're reloading, you need to go right now, fuck. So then, the next time he charged in, he had to sacrifice another one to the Wood Elves, and then the third and final Horseman actually got through. That was really the only blunder I saw from him. Otherwise, he played it pretty patiently. He played it pretty well. I like that a lot. I think both players actually played really well. Have you ever cast a StarCraft match? I have not. I've never played StarCraft. Never watched it. Would the Grail League help these two RRs do really well? The Holy Wardens of Belmont Steel and the Beast Slayers of Bastion? Yeah, they're usually really good against those kind of forces. Okie dokie. I have got some semifinals replays. Cool. That looks horrifying. And finals is underway. Good for them. I am going to finalize the tournament so I can close that. So here's what we're going to do. As usual, if you don't know the flow of things. We're going to cast the semifinals for sure. We're going to cast the finals, the final for sure. So we have 3 games guaranteed. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to look through the replays people have sent me. I am going to be honest about whether or not I want to cast them. We watched this one already just from the other perspective. If you see a game in here that I'm about to go through and you're like, oh boy, I want to see that game get cast, hang around till after the finals. I'll cast them, then I'll go to bed because I got to go to work tomorrow. But if I delete it here and you're like, oh man, he's not going to watch my game, I don't want to watch finals or semifinals, then cool. Skip it, I guess. That's fine. That looks cool. I'll cast it. A fuckload of Chosen of Nurgle versus Ogres. We haven't gotten a lot of Ogres tonight. I'll cast it. Where's the Chaos versus a Festus blob? Sorry, pass. We've cast a lot of Aecold and the Severed Claw today. I'm fine with that. Greenskins versus Khorne. That's a cool build. That's a cool build. I'll cast it. Tzeentch. We've watched a lot of Mossy, and we watched a lot of Aecold and Severed Claw. Tomb Kings, we've also seen a lot of them recently. I'm going to skip it. Sorry. And then the 2 semifinals I have to watch. So if you're one of these 4 games sent in, I'll cast those after the semifinals and finals because they look cool, and then I'm going to go to bed, right? But for now, let's get on to the semifinals for everybody who's just here for the tournament's sake, and you actually want to see a winner. First semifinal is Mossy versus Hot Fiery Potato, Empire and Greenskins. Way, I refuse to acknowledge that bait. Hot Fire Potato? Oh, we'll get your games. Oh, we'll get them. Seeing Anticity climb the StarCraft ladder is weird? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'll cast it. I'll go. So, yeah. You saw the ones I'm going to cast. If you're interested in those, hang around after the finals. If you're not interested in them, then let's get these semifinals and finals going, huh? Semifinal number 1. Empire and Greenskins. Temple off Luminarch, the ROR Luminarch. Misses Azhag, but hits everything around him. Boris Toddbringer, we mentioned before that he's good into Greenskins. We have an Amethyst Wizard with Spirit Leech and Fate of Buna. We have some Free Company Militias, Empire Knights, a bunch of State Troops, and some Flagellants. We have 1 Outrider with Grenade Launchers as well. On the other side, for the Greenskins, we have Goblin, Wolf Riders, Orc Boarboy Biggins. More Orc Boarboy Biggins up on the high ground. Orc Boys for a front line. Ooh, an entire front line of Orc Boys. Don't see that a ton. Savage Orc Aura Boys, Squigs, Azhag, and then the Swamp Things, though Azhag gets smoked by the Luminarch of Hysh. They also have some Stone Trolls. Greenskins have to hurry up and get into the fight, and it's not like they're dilly-dallying. They're doing their best to get up here and get this shit started. Orc Boys are a weird frontline choice versus Empire. Orc Boys are tankier. They don't actually do that much more damage than Goblins, so they won't get through the State Troops faster. I think that's usually why you don't see Orc Boys. Ooh, we have some flank going on. Moon Howlers and regular Goblin Wolf Riders somehow got back here onto the Temple of Luminarch. And now Boris charges in. He's going to immediately rout all these things off, and Empire Knights also rejoin the fight. But the Temple of Luminarch is disrupted for now. It can't keep shooting at Azhag. It can't keep him honest as the Silver Bullets handgunners try and shoot at him. They're really going all out on sniping Azhag. The Temple of Luminarch is at point-blank range, trying to shoot at him. He is netted. He can't move as it charges up at point-blank range, but it loses the plot. It stops charging, and now it's going to run away. As the Moon Howlers actually did not retreat from Boris at any point. They're still fighting the Free Company Militia, and Stone Trolls are now fighting Boris. A Wah gives them ITP, which will make them not tear out away from Boris. But after the Wah wears off, they might need a little bit of help, because Boris can really rout off Stone Trolls. They're just, I mean, Trolls in general have bad leadership, which is their balancing mechanic or whatever, but Boris will get rid of those guys real quick. Spirit Leech in the Temple off Luminarch, hitting Azhag, really sniping out the Greenskin Lord, but where are the Broken Tusk Mob and these other Orc Boarboy Biggins? They have to get much more involved and much quicker, as they're losing their Lord. But the Empire is not getting away from this scot-free. Everything that is on their front line has taken significant damage. Flagellants are almost dead. A Fate of Buna onto the Outriders' grenade launchers as Azhag realizes he's probably going to die and whips out whatever magic he can as quickly as he can. Orc Boys trying to push up. Free Company Militia have taken a lot of damage. Spearmen are all dying, so are Empire Knights. And the Orc Boarboy Biggins are here. They can kill that Temple off Luminarch. Lickety-split. Boris is coming back here. He needs to kill Azhag. There's no saving the Temple off Luminarch. It is doomed at this point. It doesn't matter. Just kill Azhag, and then hope you can just terror bomb the Greenskins to win this game. That will be difficult, as there's still a lot of healthy Orc Boarboy Biggins, and they're a decently heavy on leadership unit. Decently. Savage Orc Aura Boys are also no slouches, but it is a start. Boris is just rolling through these guys, trying to rout them all. He did not finish Azhag. He didn't finish his food. The Free Company Militia are tearing into these Orc Boarboy Biggins, so they're not slouching, but the Temple of Luminarch is still trying to get away from here. Squigs come in from the rear, and the Spirit Leech is still trying to kill Azhag. 3 more seconds on it. That's probably like 2 more ticks of damage. Yeah, he's down to 300 HP, but he's still alive. Boris really does need to commit the time to go after Azhag and finish him off. Otherwise, all that time into sniping him has been wasted. Temple off Luminarch still trying to get away. Now it's pathing through Spearmen. If it continues to force path away, maybe you can get outside. I don't know how much it's going to do, though. It sucks at shooting anything that's not Azhag. And Azhag's so close to death, you don't even really need the Temple of Luminarch to kill him. But he does get a Spirit Leech onto Boris. The Greenskins have swamped this backline. The Deathcaster is routing. The second and final Law is here. Boris is not able to get into this guy. Temple of Luminarch's not able to get free. And nobody is able to finish Azhag. That might be GG. Temple of Luminarch's lining up the shot. Holy shit, that actually could try and save the game. It snipes out Azhag. Is it enough? As that makes the Squig Herd rout. Some Empire Knights and Free Company Militia returning. Holy shit, it's the Empire's only hope. As all these Greenskins are primed to rout. Oh, Boris is looking at this fresh field of sheep, and he is a wolf. Can he get in there? Can he really rout these guys off? He needs to commit somewhere. He needs to land. He needs to land. Oh, he's not going for this big blob. He's going for the Savage Orc Arboys. That's fine. I really would have preferred routing off this big blob, though. Because there are so many of them that are, like, primed to rout. Boris routs everything over here. The Broken Tusk Mob have a good amount of leadership. They have their own Encourage aura. So they are doing better than most things. They do surround Boris, and this is going to be a tough time for him to get out. There's 2 Orc Borbigans who are way too healthy for Boris to be able to cycle rout off. It was a good attempt. He maybe could have routed that whole blob, but it wouldn't have routed the 2 Orc Borbigans, and they could have taken him down. So Mossy, valiant effort, will fall in our semifinals to Hot Fiery Potato, as the Empire of Man was not enough to stop the Greenskins. Free Company Militia did okay. They did okay. I feel like they're such a bait unit, but I don't play Empire much these days, so maybe I should just shit it. Azhag got sniped real hard. He did his best on his way out the door. Orc Borbigans did very well. Savage Orc Arboys also did great. Orc Boys, they were there. They were nice and tanky. Moon Howlers did fine, while the other Goblin Wolf Riders did not, and Squigs did well. GG. So Hot Fiery Potato goes to the finals. Who is fighting him there right now? We've out there fighting Galrach. Oh, God. Okay, we're going to cast other games. I don't want to cast it. You can't make me. You can't make me cast that. Oh, God. Oh, I hate the Mutal Vortex Beast. I just hate it. I despise the Mutal Vortex Beast with everything in my little body. It has healing support from the Nurgle caster. We have 6 Skirmish Cav as well. This is beyond fucked. I don't know what out there is going to do. 6 Skirmish Cav, a Mortis Engine Duelist, and healing versus Nurgle. We do have 2 Chaos Warriors of Nurgle with great weapons, 2 Chosen Nurgle with great weapons, 2 Nurglings, 2 Exalted Plague Bearers with their grenades. We have a Rot Fly, Chaos Warhound, a single Horseman of Nurgle, and a Herald of Nurgle with Fleshy Abundance, Rants of Visitations, and Stream of Corruption. On the other side, we do have a bunch of Marauder Horsemen, some with throwing axes, some Horse Masters, some regular Horsemen. Marauders with great weapons, more Marauders, Chosen of Slunch the Hell Scourges, Chosen of Khorne with dual weapons, the Mutal Vortex Beast, and the Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle with Fleshy Abundance and Stream of Corruption. It's the Jabberscythe, but boring. Well, it's also a better duelist. And it has an AoE buff for your friends. And it has an AoE debuff for your opponents. Marauder Horsemen get into a fight with the Marauder Horsemen of Nurgle, and Dogs and Rotflies catch some. That is a big loss in the early game. We're about to lose some throwing axes over there. Marauder Horsemasters are actually losing the fight against the Marauder Horsemen of Nurgle. So rough start for the Skirmish Cav of Chaos. These other Skirmish Cav are getting caught by Nurglings and Chaos Warriors, and they plow further in. Oh no. Oh no, they're taking a bunch of damage. That is a bit of a tragedy. The Marauder Horsemen are trying to get behind the lines, but they accidentally walked straight into the melee. The 3 Marauder Horsemen on the top side are all going to rout soon, as the Marauder Horsemen throwing axes of Nurgle are not letting these Horsemasters get away. The Rants of Visitations is here. It's Overcast on the Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle. The Marauders and Chosen front line of the Warriors of Chaos will lose to the Nurgle version, because the Nurgle version just has everything they have, but they spent more money on it, so I would hope that the Nurgle version would win. Because the Warriors of Chaos spent more money on 6 Skirmish Cav, right? So Chaos Warriors and Nurglings fighting well. This Marauder Horseman took half HP in damage. We still have a Horsemaster and a Horseman throwing X's in the back, but a huge loss for the Warriors of Chaos on the northern side, as a lot of their skirmish cav is getting pushed away. Some of these Marauders are going to get swooped up by Chaos Warhounds with Poison. Out there doing a pretty good job on that front. And a nice stream of corruption, really hurting these Chosen of Slaanesh. And the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle routs at half HP. And his healing might go with him. The Mutilith Vortex Beast is off and about. It's going to go back in for another charge. But the Herald of Nurgle is going to chase our Sorcerer Lord away. Doesn't look like anything can really save the Sorcerer Lord for right now. This full health Marauder Horseman throwing axes is back. The Rotflies just abandoned the chase, assuming it was over. A little too overeager on their part. They do let that very healthy skirmish cav come back, but still, losing the Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle this early is terrible for the Warriors of Chaos. Mutilith Vortex Beast is back in the middle fighting all these guys. Fecundity is out onto both of these Chosen, though the Chosen both being together do mean that they're both getting drained by the Mutilith Vortex Beast at the same time. Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle, there's no saving him now. He's definitely doomed. I was thinking maybe the Skirmish Cav could come over, but nah, not enough time. Chosen of Khorne weapons still grinding. Chaos Warriors and Nurglings on this side about to die off. It looks like the south side goes okay. Mutilith Vortex Beast still running rampant, and the only ranged unit this Marauder Horseman throwing axes is 5 ammunition away from being out of ammo before we're all just in melee. Dogs chasing off the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle is a little risky, because if they ever get stalked, then he won't know they're there and he'll rally, and then he can beat them up in melee, but it seems like he's going to be off the map for now. Marauder Horsemen still throwing with what ammo they have into these guys. Horsemaster's also checking in the Exalted Plague Bearers. Chosen of Nurgle with great weapons. Both getting drained slowly, but the Mutilith Vortex Beast, one of its weaknesses that I have mentioned before is it has a very good and well-constructed model, and I don't mean that like good for it. It's actually bad for it, but it's healthy for the game Total War. The Mutilith Vortex Beast and the Incarnate Elemental, the new monsters, have really, really well put together models. If they get surrounded by infantry, almost all the infantry recognize there's a giant monster there and turn and beat the shit out of it. And if you want to see the example of a bad model, have Kugoth Plaguefather stand in some infantry, or have Slans stand in some infantry. And like infantry or cavalry or anything, so many of the models aren't swinging because they feel like they're like, oh, I need to get to the center of this model before I can swing at it. And you're like, no, just swing at it, it's giant. But like the Mutilith Vortex Beast and the Incarnate have none of those issues. If they get surrounded in infantry, all of them swing. So this thing does not want to be alone in the Chosen. It wants friends, which it went to go get with the Chosen Pro dual weapons. Really nice overcasted Rancid Visitations. Now that you know that the Mutilith Vortex Beast has no healing because the Nurgle caster is gone, that taxing is really good on it. Chosen of Khorne and the Mutilith are really all that's left for the Warriors of Chaos. They're falling dangerously low on the balance of power, and while these Nurglings die, Exalted Plague Bearers are soon to follow. Nurgle has a lot of units left that it can slowly feed into the Mutilith Vortex Beast, and it can just cast Rancid Visitations every time it gets it off cooldown onto the Mutilith Vortex Beast to kill that thing off. I'm going to ×2 speed for just a bit here as we watch Chosen grind against Chosen, and we watch Mutilith Vortex Beast do its damnedest. Mutilith Vortex Beast charging in, doing good damage, draining, and the Chosen of Khorne are doing what they can. Meanwhile, Chaos is trying to get some of their skirmish cav back in, hurt those Rotflies a little bit. Once another Rancid Visitation did hit the Mutilith Vortex Beast for just a second, but he routs, and that is over. Out there going to finals. 2,100 as Rancid Visitation casters. Chosen also both did well. Exalted Plague Bearers didn't quite pay for themselves, neither did the Chaos Warriors, neither did the Rotflies, though the Rotflies were nice for chasing down the enemy. His skirmish cav and his dogs did great. On the other side for Galroch, his caster got caught out and sniped. He routed surprisingly early at above half HP, but sure, I guess it happens. Chosen of Khorne, the Mutilith Vortex Beast did well. The skirmish cav, mixed value, but you can see which ones got caught out and which ones didn't. And then Marauders were just there for some extra bulk. I'm surprised I don't actually have our finals yet. I thought casting 2 games they'd be done, but I guess the second game was kind of quick. So we'll cast one of the other cool games we saw. We just saw some out there. Let's do this one. Forks against Egg. those are our semifinals. The final is being played right now. So if you're wondering what this game is, this is just a fun-looking game from the Swiss stage that we felt like casting in our downtime. We are waiting on the finals. This is not the finals. The finals is between two people who weren't in the semifinals? Yeah, I know. Shit's crazy, dude. All right, what do we got? Got some Night Goblin Squig Hoppers, Morgan's Vintage Marauders, and the Death Creepers. That's what they are. Orc Boys and Orc Biggins. Double Arachnarok Spider, one of which has a Goblin Great Shaman on it. And then we have the Crimson Killers. That is a wild build. On the other side for Khorne, we have Flesh Hounds and regular... No, all Flesh Hounds, wow. Including the Hounds of the Bloodhound. All Flesh Hounds, eating up some Night Goblin Squig Hoppers. One Blood Crusher of Khorne, 2 Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes, a Skull Cannon, an Exalted Bloodletter, 2 Chaos Warriors of Khorne, a Cultist, and Valkia. Flesh Hounds currently having the best day of their lives in the woods, eating up some Night Goblin Squig Hoppers, though a couple of them have lost the plot after one of them ran away. And the double Arachnarok are here. Blood Crushers get an amazing charge onto the Orc Boys, and now they're going to start to run away as Throwing Axes tee off onto the Goblin Great Shaman. He only did bring Vindictive Glare and Don't Even Try It, which are good sniping spells to keep Valkia honest. Don't Even Try It's currently whittling her down a little bit. The second Arachnarok Spider running up. Looks like he's going to feast on some Blood Crushers. And yeah, the double spiders are going to love the fight with the Blood Crushers, though they are taking a lot of damage from the skirmish cav they need to be careful of. One Flesh Hound still fighting the Squig Hoppers as the other 2 Flesh Hounds decide to come out here and say hello. Get some other stuff done besides fighting random Squig Hoppers in the woods, I suppose. Death Creepers and Morgan's Vintage Marauders have found the Skull Cannon. It looks like it's starting to move away now. It can heal in melee, plus get more ammo back. But the Blood Crushers are about to start demonic instability crumbling. They were not ready for a fight with these giant spiders. They are not the anti-large version, that's the Skull Crushers. The Blood Crushers are the anti-infantry version. So they did decent on some charges. They did okay, and now they're holding these guys in place while the Goblin Great Shaman takes an unholy amount of damage from the skirmish cav. Though I will say one of the Marauder Horsemen throwing axes is really close to the melee and taking extra damage he probably doesn't need to. First Wah is out for the Greenskins. Our Exalted Bloodletters have cleaved through some Orc Boys, but there's Orc Biggins ready to party with them. The Crimson Killers are stuck fighting Chaos Warriors of Khorne and a Cultist. If the Cultist summons a Bloodletter behind them, actually, the Bloodletters will do amazing versus Crimson Killers. Only 30 melee defense on those guys, and relying mostly on their armor to stay safe. Oh, Bloodletters would have a field day. Speaking of having a field day, Khorne on this Goblin Great Shaman, down to 3,000 HP and falling on the Greenskin leadership and their caster. That is brutal. Flesh Hounds fighting more Night Goblin Squig Hoppers, just like it was in the woods. And this fight in the woods is still going, though now one of the Flesh Hounds finally fades away and loses the Night Goblin Squig Hoppers. Skull Cannon firing over into these Orc Biggins. Let's see if it can get any good shots off. And the Cultist is dying to the Crimson Killers. He needs to throw out his Bloodletter Summon before he passes. Marauder Horsemen throwing axes are not going to be able to finish off the Goblin Great Shaman, though they got real close. It's not going to be enough. Good rear charge here from the Flesh Hounds. That might actually rout those Orc Biggins that are fighting Chaos Warriors of Khorne. They don't like that at all. Cultist is not going to get out his summon in time. I know he has it. It's just whether or not he notices that his Cultist is dying and needs to cast it. He did not in time. Valkia is out after the Goblin Great Shaman with the Skull Cannon helping. Skull Cannon, if it gets into melee, will keep this guy routing, but also start regenerating and getting more ammo. So that's actually like 3 birds with 1 stone. Cultist escaped from his fate because he routed, and that just forced him to get out of a bad situation, so that's good. Unfortunately, the Fleshhound ROR is dying, and the Marauder Horsemen are routing. Things looking a little tough for Khorne at this moment. The Skull Cannon is losing the plot on the Great Shaman. Great Shaman's going to come back, maybe. Skull Cannon gets moving again, but is it too late? 51 speed versus 68. Come on, Skull Cannon. How are you falling behind? Okay, you're starting to gain now. For a second there, I was like, what the fuck? Second Wah is out. Chaos Warriors of Khorne fighting back against the Crimson Killers and the Orc Biggins. Cultist is back with his summon, which is desperately needed as Exalted Bloodletters pile through more Orc Biggins. And Skull Cannon cannot let that Goblin Great Shaman come back. That's really the only hope Khorne has in this fight. Bloodletter Summon is out. It should path directly for the Crimson Killers and massacre those guys as the Spear Slapnir goes through some Orc Biggins, and then Valkia decides to land. But the Bloodletters are in prime position to support her, and they immediately get orders. Yes, you love to see it. Love to see it. You love to see how you love how crazy the builds have been today. Yes. Yes. The new player tournaments are always wild for builds, man. Sword of Khorne comes out. I didn't see it coming. It did some friendly fire to the summon, but big who cares there as Khorne really tries to scrap back into this game. And they're doing good. They're doing good with it. I mean, if the Goblin Great Shaman goes off, then their leadership is going to tank. Like, this guy would rout, Crimson Killers would rout, this guy would rout, so it'd really be the Skirmish Cav and the Arachnarok left. I think the Greenskins have probably got it anyway, because that's a lot of Skirmish Cav left. And that's a summon. Like, that was not even real. Valky is trying to fight the Arachnarok. Arachnarok has 59 attack versus her 55 defense. Its bonus for Zalarge is wasted on Valky. She's an infantry character. The Exalted Bloodletters of Khorne fighting to the end against these Orc Biggins, but they might start Demonic Instability crumbling soon. For now, they're holding on. And that Goblin Great Shaman is just about off the map. The Skull Cannon has got 2 ammunition and regenerated a lot in his time chasing that guy off. Cultist of Khorne is also chasing off 2 Orc Biggins. So things looking up for Khorne a little bit, honestly. Can Khorne seriously come back? Goblin Great Shaman getting off the map. But the Skull Cannon lost the plot again. Just leaves the Goblin Great Shaman to his fate and hopes that he routes himself off the map. That is risky behavior. Especially for such a key component of this game. If you're going to win, you need that Shaman to take himself out. But he did. Lord is routed, going to take the Crimson Killers, going to take this Orc Boy, going to probably take this Orc Biggin. -4 leadership, and when his allies are routing nearby, it'll take him lower too. Yeah, that is the importance of a Lord on a low leadership faction, is all of a sudden, all the infantry route off. We have an Orc Boy with 0, there we go. Yeah, all the infantry are routing off. It's just Valkia versus some Skirmish Cav, and the Skirmish Cav are starting to rout themselves. And the Arachnarok Spider's leadership is terrible. 32, 35 as it starts to come back, but I could see that big boy routing if Valky gets 2 good hits on him. Cultist does not chase off those Orc Biggins that I can't select. Is my game crashing? What the fuck? Okay, that was weird. That was a weird moment. Okay, don't go over there. That is apparently glitch zone. I can't do anything over there. I'm not gonna try. I refuse to acknowledge those Orc Biggins exist. Valky has helped chasing off these Orc Biggins and gonna go fight Morgans Mangy Marauders. Meanwhile, the Death Creepas do shatter off the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. And now all the spiders turn towards the Cultist. Skull Cannon apparently uses ammunition. I didn't see him firing it, but it is gone. And the Arachnarok can kill that Skull Cannon in maybe 3 hits. Because you don't, with demonic units, you don't have to kill them. You just have to get them low enough that they kill themselves. There it goes for the Skull Cannon. Gets 1 hit. Gets another one. Gets a 3rd. It was not 3 hits. Gets a 4th. And just like that, the Skull Cannon is falling apart, man. The Ragnarok is just tearing it to pieces. Oh my goodness. Greenskins taking lead on the balance of power, and I am forced to agree, as the Skull Cannon continues to get bodied by the Arachnarok Spider. And there's really not much rebuttal from Valkyrie right now. She's trying, but that thing is ignoring her with the best of them as the Skull Cannon continues to try and hold on to its leadership. There's the Demonic Instability crumbling. Say goodbye to that Skull Cannon. Terror out from the Cultists, leaving Valkia all alone, and the Greenskins Arachnarok Spiders will probably prevail at this point. Yeah, that's GG. Good win from Forex. It was close. It was close. Second Arachnarok did a lot of good work. Orc Biggins did okay. Crimson Kills did amazing. Night Goblin Squig Hoppers did really well. Skirmish Cav both did well. Orc Boys did okay. For Egg, Blood Crushers really disappointed him. Skull Cannon also didn't get too much done, unfortunately. Cultist was okay. His summon was really, really helpful. Fleshhounds did fine. Marauder Horse and Throwing Axes did amazing. GG. Three games left to cast for fun, but I have a replay. have a replay of our finals. So let's do that. There's going to be a lot of out there games, because we have 2 out there games we wanted to watch, and then the out there's in finals. Out there repping his usual Nurgle build. Who wins it all? Karl Franz and the Empire, with a very, honestly, simple build. Empire Knights, Spearmen, Cannon, Handguns, Greatswords, Franz and Heal. We're out there with his Nurgle slow push that has been serving him so well thus far. 2 Chaos Warhounds of Poison. 3 Nurglings this time. 2 Chaos Warriors of Nurgle, 2 Exalted Plaguebearers of Nurgle, 3 Chosen of Nurgle, and then a Herald of Nurgle. Why? He has Blight Boil, Fleshy Abundance, and Stream of Corruption. Why Blight Boil? Why? For the Empire, 4 Empire Knights, 1 Cannon, Silver Bullets, and regular handgunners, 2 Greatswords, a Jade Wizard with Earthblood and Regrowth, and a front line of Spearmen. For any rules people out there, the Empire is too close to the white line. For sure. On a new player tournament, I tend to be more lenient, but for the players watching this, the Empire needs to be deployed 200 meters away from the white line. These Empire Knights are sitting literally on it, and if they weren't here, I believe, if I remember this map correctly, this guy is like just at like 150. So this formation would need to start like here. And the Empire Knights couldn't guard this corridor. Because the whole point of the white line rule, if you care, if you don't care about this, I'll keep it short. The whole point of the white line rule is because there's a very obvious open path here that the game arbitrarily stops you from taking. But it wouldn't, like, Nurgle would have to be stupid to just not walk all the way around here and flank you. But, you know, with the white line there, we just don't want people deploying right here because there's no reason they can move. That's why this map is in the pool. If you're like, wow, Empire got to start on a hill and Nurgle didn't. Well, that's because normally with white line rules, the Empire would be down here. Right, not on their hill. So that's why that caught my eye. But we're chill about it in a new player tournament, because by the nature of a new player tournament, it's just more of a chill atmosphere. But if this was like Warhammer World Cup Finals, yeah, I would have an issue with that. FYI. But that's why I bring it up. I don't bring it up to make anybody feel bad or to be a dick. I bring it up so that I'm like, hey, just so you know, this is a thing. Try not to do it. Cool. Anyway, while I was talking about that, Nurgle has been advancing. Great Cannon is actually doing more damage to the Chosen of Nurgle than I usually see cannons do. And Empire Knights are going to fight some Nurglings. If they got the charge on them, they would do a lot of damage to the Nurglings. But it looks like the Nurglings actually caught them, which is a bit of a whoopsie. Empire Knights are now starting to fall back in the face of Nurgle. Handgunners firing downhill on these poor Chosen. Nurglings taking some damage too, but mostly all of the effort of the Empire has been focused on fucking up this one specific Chosen. That Chosen in particular needs to die, apparently. Franz was helping his Empire Knights a little bit, gave him stand your ground to help him stay in the fight for a bit, but Chaos Warriors, ooh, wow, those are Chosen. Okay, Chosen and Exalted Plaguebearers should beat those Empire Knights over time. It'll just take them a while. The Empire is trying to stop some troops here, but they're so close to the edge of the map that if these Empire Knights ever rout, they're going straight off. They have no room to run away. The Herald of Nurgle gets a little too close for comfort. He's going to overcast a Fleshy Abundance on himself and the troops beneath him. Helps these Chaos Warriors just a little bit. Though I don't think the Fleshy Abundance overcast actually heals you anymore. I think it just heals AoE, so maybe you just could have single targeted that. Nice Stream of Corruption. Up the Great Swords. Doesn't do that much damage, so I'm guessing that was the Utterkiss variant. Ben Hopton with the Vargablar. Thanks. I'm never going to say Vorgamblund, Brood Mother, Jabberscythe, Regiment of Renown in a replay. That's just not going to happen. You're getting the Vargablar, and you're going to like it. Chosen of Nurgle did tear out for a brief moment. Now they're back. Nurglings are almost crumbling away, and the Chaos Warriors of Nurgle are continuing to grind through the Empire front line. We do have some Empire Knights routing at last. Spearmen down to about half HP, but the Greatswords on the higher ground are feeling a bit better. The Herald of Nurgle helps out with the Empire Knights, almost gets them to rout, and another Stream of Corruption does a little bit more damage. But if they're not overcast, you notice that the burst damage really isn't there. For Nurgle, we have to get some dogs or something into that backfield. These handgunners and cannon being entirely uncontested is a bit of a problem. But one of the dogs is almost going to take itself off the map, barely rallies in time. The Chosen are continuing to grind, but an Earthblood heals up the Greatswords just a little bit. The Exalted Plaguebearer is actually going to use their grenades on the Spearmen to just try and break this front line a little faster and get going back there. As we said before, these Empire Knights will lose on the flanks to the Chosen, the Exalted Plaguebearers, but it's taking them so long to kill these Empire Knights that the rest of their front line is taking a lot of damage while those extra pieces aren't there. Sebastian, we talked about it enough that I really don't want to make this whole replay talking about it, but if you rewind back, we talk about the white line thing. The Empire did deploy too close to the white line. I already gave them shit about it, and we're moving on. But yeah, you're noting a correct thing. You can just, if you want to hear the whole reasoning, you can back up. Blight Boil? That's a Blight Boil. Pandemic Diesel, I love you. I love you too, buddy. But that is a Blight Boil. I hate this spell. It's so fucking bad. It managed to hit. It did decent damage. It's also really easy to dodge. It's also very expensive. But decent damage is not enough for how much that spell costs. It needed to, like, nuke those guys. Instead, it just did okay. Dogs do end up back here at last. Now, some Spearmen are going to rout them off because they're already very damaged. But this one might be able to kill the Great Cannon before anybody can get to it. So finally, Nurgle shutting down some of the ranged. And we still have Chosen in the distance. We still have Nurglings in the distance. We still have Exalted Plaguebearers in the distance. So Nurgle's not out of stuff just yet. They just really need to stop some of this range, and they do at last. Silence the cannon. It looks like forever. I don't think that cannon's coming back at this point. Herald of Nurgle has taken a lot of damage. Though without the cannon, he can stay out of range of the handgunners and just be safe in the sky. Because he can outrun Franz, right? They're the same speed. I guess that's risky, but maybe he can outrun Franz. Silver Bullets running away from the Exalted Plaguebearers. They are faster. They'll be fine. Empire Knights running down the Chaos Warhounds of Poison. They should rout those guys off pretty soon and take them off the map. As the Locust of Fecundity is going to heal up the Herald of Nurgle and his Chaos Warriors and a full health Chosen. Oh god, there's still a full health Chosen. Okay, half health Chosen, full health Chosen. Is that a Chosen? Where's the third? There's a third Chosen. Oh, okay, that one's dying. Cool. Cool. One of our handgunner friends is dead, surrounded by Nurglings, not feeling so good. Reikland Runefang gives them some melee attack. Fuck yeah! I know it was for Franz, and they happen to be nearby, but I like to think that Franz came by to give them good stats! Handgunners with a 43-44 for a brief moment there. That was epic, but short-lived, of course. Herald of Nurgle getting attacked by Franz, getting shot up at the Silver Bullets. He's not going to have a good day, but the rest of the Empire is routing. And there could be a spooky, scary Nurgle late-game situation where the Silver Bullets get run down, and then Franz has to fight a bunch of Chosen all by himself, which is his worst nightmare. He can't handle all those Chosen. I'm more curious about how far you have to keep from the white line with your own offensive flanking units. Oh, the offensive flanking units? You can run right next to the white line. You can hug it for all you care. You just can't deploy defensively on the white line. There needs to be room to move. But, like, if you're using it offensively, you can go there. Yeah. Alright, the Chosen Nurgle managed to peel Franz as the Herald of Nurgle squeezes through there. Nice job, nice job. Chosen Nurgle still getting shot by the Silver Bullets, and they only have 9 ammo left, which actually isn't a ton to kill a full health Chosen, some Nurglings, some Exalted Plaguebearers, and all this stuff. So we'll see how far the Herald of Nurgle can get. I wonder if he has any Winds of Magic left. I wouldn't hate for an overcasted Stream of Corruption down the line of the Silver Bullets just to nuke them. I don't know if a Rance of Visitations on Franz is worth it. He's just going to get so much healing. But I guess the Chosen have to kill him eventually, so maybe a Rance of Visitations on Franz? I don't know. We'll see what he decides to do with his Winds of Magic. Blight Boil will be the worst option. Please, God, not another Blight Boil. Bringing that at all might lose this game. Franz is once again charging downhill, hits the Herald of Nurgle. Nurglings are getting to fight the Silver Bullets for a little bit. We'll see how long they can even stay without demonic stability crumbling. Here comes some Empire Knights. The Herald of Nurgle is ducking, dipping, diving, dodging, ducking. Get away from all this stuff. The 5 Ds of dodge Franz. Ooh, Exalted Plaguebearers have grenades. That could be good. That could be good in the late game. Once again, the Herald of Nurgle manages to squeeze past Franz, who does pop stand your ground. Probably Reichel and Runefang is either coming up soon or still on cooldown. There go the Nurglings. Silver Bullets prevailed. And there's a nice stream of corruption down the line. I don't know if it was overcast. Judging by the fact that it did almost 0 damage, it was not overcast. Earthblood will heal up all those guys instead. Chosen of Nurgle fighting with Franz. Where is everybody else? Nurglings chasing off handgunners. Whoops, I double-clicked and that always fucks with my camera. Alright, so we have Nurglings sneaking up the flank. Herald of Nurgle takes a melee fight with the Jade Wizard, just trying to get some damage out. But the Silver Bullets are aiming uphill at him. 6 volleys left on those guys. If the Herald of Nurgle can get into the air and dodge a lot of those volleys, that would really help his Chosen out in the late game. Because we all know his days are limited, so it's really just how much of the Silver Bullets' time and ammo can the Herald of Nurgle waste. Alright. Blight Boil should be a Bloated Corpse spell? Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Franz gets an Earthblood, but you can see how much damage he's taking when he has to fight these Chosen of Nurgle, and notice how little damage they're taking. That is the scary part of this late game. Exalted Plague Bearers grinding with these greatswords, they'll do fine here. They should beat those guys. And the Herald of Nurgle, another stream of corruption, though it honestly does as much friendly fire as enemy damage. So the Stream of Corruption, he does have the Children of Nurgle passive. Yes, he does. So I guess it heals up the Chosen a little bit every time he casts that. A Regrowth is going for Karl Franz. And he honestly needs it. Exalted Plague Bearers have gotten away with that. And they're now turning to throw their grenades at Franz. This could do a lot of damage. This could do a lot of friendly fire damage. I am scared but intrigued what these grenades will do. As some Chosen of Nurgle, 4 models return to the fight. These Exalted Plague Bearers kind of lose the plot. Never threw their grenades at Franz, and now Franz is back in the air. He's probably going to finish the Herald of Nurgle with this attack. No, he misses. The Herald of Nurgle does get away. Another Earthblood tries and keeps these Empire State troops in the field. The Exalted Plague Bearers taking damage. They're trying to aim their grenades at Franz, who is flying into them. They're now going to get into melee instead of getting to use their grenades. They really want to use those grenades on him. Those things do a lot of damage. Chaos Warriors and Nurgle charging uphill with a stream of corruption to knock the Silver Bullets down? Nah, it doesn't knock them down, but it does slow them down enough. Chaos Warriors catch up. And that is a big win for Nurgle, catching the Silver Bullets. But these Chosen have taken a lot of damage since I last checked in. These Exalted Plague Bears are also not getting too much out. Balance of Power is tipping against Nurgle wildly. They need to kill off the Silver Bullets, if even just to help themselves on the Balance of Power. Nurglings still fighting against Spearman Shields. Not going great for them. Franz is tearing through Exalted Plague Bears as we speak. What was that? Something was happening down there. A Fecundity. Ooh, that was a really big heal for Nurgle. They needed that. It somehow didn't spread to this Exalted Plague Bearer, even though he was right there because of reasons. I don't understand some of the spreading abilities that Total War Warhammer 3 introduced. They feel really random. But whatever. The Fecundity was good for the Chosen Nurgle, so we take that. Silver Bullets routing off. They have plenty of HP. They should be back as these Chaos Warriors get stalled up on the Greatswords, and the Herald of Nurgle has to decide what to do. He's running away from Franz for now, as these Grenaders still have 2 volleys they really want to use, but they just can't seem to find Franz to actually use them. If Franz kills off the Herald, that'll probably get rid of this Chaos Warrior. That'll honestly maybe even get rid of these other Plague Bearers. So the Herald's staying alive as long as he has kept Nurgle in this game, but it looks like his time is running out. The Silver Bullets have returned. Bounce Power gets once again worse, and still these Exalted Plague Bearers cannot figure out how to use their grenades. The Herald of Nurgle is at 17 leadership, and he's falling away. There he falls apart. Can you guys fucking throw, or what is going on with you? They try and throw. They have a blinking arrow of urgency, but the Bounce of Power tips into Army Losses territory, and it is just going to happen as they never threw their fucking grenades. Nurgle does fall. Never threw. Just never got their shit together. Okay, I guess I don't deserve to see what the ending score is. That's fine. I don't know what the ending values were. It just skipped for no reason. I'm going to check my task manager quick, because last time I was streaming, my computer overheated, and we didn't have to. My computer just overheated and crashed. And it was Google Chrome doing it. And Google Chrome is still taking a lot of my memory. My CPU and my GPU are fine, so I think we'll make it through these next couple of replays quick. Plague Bears learned throwing from human Wizzlobs. It's true. So Hot Fiery Potato did win today's new player tournament. I will message them. So, congrats, Hot Fiery Potato, on the tournament win. Huzzah! Well done, sir. Well done. Congrats, Potato. He did great. He did great. I'll load up the next game. Since we have two very similar looking games, we've cast a lot of Trogdor's games, and we're going to be casting a lot of Out There's games. And this looks like it's going to be Durthu and some healing Zotes versus Nurgle. I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to skip that one. But let's end it on a Rakarth game. So we'll cast this one next. This is just a Swiss game that looked fun. If you wonder what to do now that you've won a new player tournament, we do have lots of stuff on our Discord to be doing. So I'm going to pause this real quick before people evacuate en masse. If you want to join these new player tournaments, you can join our Discord. It's in the description. Go down to Give Rat Ogre Roll. You can get the Rat Ogre Roll here, and then that gives you access to our new player chat, our coaches channel where you can post replays, and then really good tournament players will look over the replays and tell you things about your build you could have changed or things you could have done better in the replay. Even if you're just playing quick battles, even if you're not a part of our tournament scene, that's fine. Hop in here and do that, right? You can play these new player tournaments, which I always post in tournaments. There was this one, right? But if you win a new player tournament, you can't play in any more new player tournaments, but there's still other tournaments getting posted by people. Some are for fun, some are sweaty tryhard. If you feel like it, you could do Vermin League games where you just queue up for a game like Lenorm did here, and it matches you with someone else who queued. And if you win or lose, you get ELO, which gives you a standing on our giant leaderboard. So that's just a best of 3 tournament bot. If you're not really feeling best of 3s, we do have our best of 1 practice pit, but it's unranked. It just matches you with someone, gives you the tournament pick and ban and the tournament rules so you can practice that kind of stuff. But if you win or lose, it doesn't give you any points. It's just best of 1. So those are things we have for you outside of the new player tournaments. We, of course, have the new player tournaments every week, and I do alter between the time zones. EU 1 week, NA next week. EU 1 week, NA next week. So that was half for Hot Fired Potato if he's like, what do I do now? And that was half for the rest of you. All right, we have 2 games left in the night just for fun. But Hot Fired Potato, the winner of the last game, was the final of the tournament. We're just going to cast some interesting games here. So for Out There, you have a Herald of Nurgle, as he usually brings, some Marauder Horsemen, and then a bunch of Chaos Warriors, Chosen of Nurgle, and Exalted Plague Bearers. The build he seems to go with all the damn time. On the other side, for the Ogres that are facing him, we have Ogre Bulls with Iron Fists and dual weapons, 2 Gorgers, not something you see very often, some Noblars, Nobblar Trappers, 2 Lead Belchers, and the Crushers with great weapons. Not the Regiment of Renown, just regular Crushers. These Lead Belchers are going to have to do a lot of damage against the Chosen if the Ogres would have a hope here. We do have Scrag the Slaughter with Bone Crusher and Toothcracker. Interesting. Cool. One Chaos Warrior of Nurgle has already taken a lot of damage, so is this other one. So both the Chaos Warriors taking a lot, but the Chosen are so far just fine. We lost one of the Nurglings already, and Sabertusk packs are getting onto the back line. I wonder what they'll do. They do have very, very, very high weapon strength, which makes them good against Plague Bearers, because Plague Bearers rely on having an insane amount of HP. But then their stats aren't amazing. Like, I guess they have good melee defense, but Sabertusk packs are fine. Sabertusk packs want to avoid the Chosen. They don't have good armor piercing. As the Lead Belchers get stuck fighting the Herald of Nurgle, the Herald of Nurgle did dive back onto them to distract them, and he's getting good damage out while his Marauder Horseman friends flank them, and a lot of Ogres are already routing away. Rancid Visitation's Overcast is hurting Scrag, while a Bone Crusher damages these Plague Bearers of Nurgle, softening them up a little bit for these Gorgers and Fleshhounds to chew through. How are the Chosen doing? Full health, pretty much full health. The Chosen are fine. The Chosen are just fine with what's going on. Herald of Nurgle is doing really well, knocking around some Lead Belchers. Already took him down to half HP. And some Marauder Horse and Throwing Axes also found their way onto Lead Belchers. This is a bit of a disaster for the Ogre Kingdoms. Is they've got to find something to send back here. Whether it's Crushers or some Ogre Bulls or something. Someone's got to come back and save the Lead Belchers. The Lead Belchers are key to this whole operation. Toothcracker is cast, giving these guys armor and missile resistance. But the Herald of Nurgle is armor piercing and he's not using any missiles. So unfortunately, Toothcracker does literally nothing to help them in this situation. Scrag himself is going to rear charge these Marauder Horse and Throwing Axes, and the Crushers are coming, which is good to see. I'm glad they're peeling a little bit for these Lead Belchers. Still 13 out of 16 models, so a lot of health left. Love left to give. They don't have a lot of health left. They have a lot of models. Herald of Nurgle has killed off a lot of the other Lead Belchers. Not great. And Gorgers are doing Gorger things. They're dying. They're dying for the great cause. So far, both Exalted Plague Bearers have withstood the test of time. They're both still fine. They're both still in this game. And the Chosen are very concerning. All of the Chosen are feeling good. Wow, I guess except for this one. What happened to you on the side, my friend? Taking a lot of damage. Lead Belchers are firing. Oh no, they're firing at the Herald of Nurgle. Lead Belchers do not do almost any damage to single entities. They exclusively kill armored infantry. Yeah. So the Lead Belcher's not having the best targeting there. Another Rancid Visitations onto Scrag, lowering his HP even further. And the Balance of Power is getting into that dangerous territory of army losses, which I think is why the Rancid Visitations was undercast on the Scrag. It might just be some burst damage. Like, just make the Balance of Power give up on this, because I don't want to get kited by Lead Belchers for an hour and a half. Which, I can understand that. Not wanting to get kited by Lead Belchers is a pretty universal feel. The Lead Belchers turn their attention away from the Chosen that they were shooting so well, and now they're going to fire at the Herald of Nurgle. Another Bone Crusher's out, though. That's going to be a really good one. That did good damage. I mean, you might be like, that was underwhelming. It was versus Chosen, okay? It was solid. Crushers charge straight through. Get good damage onto the Nurglings. Ogre Bulls, once again, fighting the Herald of Nurgle, but not going to get very far. And our Gorger friends are just about dead. 5 models and 900 HP on that one. How far is Scrag's Cauldron charged? Does he even have it? No, he didn't bring his Cauldron. He's not healing the Gorgers. He didn't give a fuck. The cannons make you think they have bonus versus large? Oh, yeah, they don't. They don't. This could be huge. Crusher's trying to catch out the Herald of Nurgle, and they're going to beat him up very quickly. With only some Nurglings to support him, those will honestly go away soon. So if they can snipe out the Herald of Nurgle, maybe there's something that can be done here, but there's still Chaos Warriors running around that manage to catch up to Lead Belchers. The Marauder Horse and Throwing Axes are chasing down Scrag, but they can just as easily dive to Lead Belchers again. I do think it's too little too late for the Ogres here. They're going down. GG. Out there really loves his Chosen. Really likes those guys. Marauder Horsemen and the Exalted Plague Bearers were the winners of this match, though. Got really good value on them. For Yashkaf and the Ogres. Gorgers did better than I would have expected. Lead Belchers had a really hard time actually sitting and firing anywhere. Ogre Bulls got crushed, and they feel like they've gotten crushed ever since the last update, where they got a slight cost increase, but aside from that, nothing. So I think it was a shadow nerf where they got fixed or something, but Ogre Bulls have been very underwhelming to me recently. And they used to be like the key to several matchups, where it's just, spam as many Ogre Bulls as you can and you win. Last game of the night. Last game of the night is between Wanky to Stanky and Aya. Dark Elves led by fucking Rakarth and a Hydra versus Chaos Dwarfs. My God. What a legend. What a legend. Iron Fist are a choice against Nurgle. I sometimes like him just for the increased melee defense. I don't really take him for the shields. Okay. For the final game of the night, Bleak Swords and Dread Spears is the front line, backed up by Blackheart Corsairs. We have triple Dark Shards, all with shields. Some Cold One Knights. Looks like 2 Cold One Knights. Rakarth up on his Manticore with Beast of Karankar and Beast Slayer. Sorcerers of Death, Fate of Buna and Spirit Leech, and then a War Hydra. Against them is our first Chaos Dwarf for the night. No, there was a Blunderbuss earlier that I remember doing really well versus Mossy. Second Chaos Dwarf for the night. 5 Goblin Laborers, 4 Chaos Dwarf Warriors backing them up, Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders with spears, and then some Centaurs with great weapons. We do have a Sorcerer Prophet of Fire with just Burning Head. And then Hobgoblin Archers, Chaos Dwarf Blunderbusses, and a Fire Glaive. Off to the races against these Dark Elves. The Hobgoblin front line is already falling apart. Oh, Goblin Laborers, I think you're trash. I've stopped taking them entirely. I only take the 400 gold Hobgoblins instead of the Goblin Laborers because they just fall apart too quickly. Nice Burning Head down the line, hits the Blackheart Corsairs, and then it's going to curve into the Dread Spears, and it damages the Goblin Laborers a little bit, but who cares? That was a beautiful Burning Head. It was great. Karth is chasing down the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire, and the Blunderbusses are trying to shoot him. If they can get a good volley off, they could do significant damage to Karth. I really like this. I like that the Sorcerer Prophet stopped and fought. Now that Karth has his back to his Blunderbusses, I love that. Because if he kept running away, then the Blunderbusses wouldn't get nearly as good of a shot onto Karth. The frontline fight is progressing. The Dark Elves are winning that and getting onto the back line. But if they can get this Lord Snipe off for the Chaos Dwarfs, maybe that can be a way to come back into this game. Beast Slaver is up. 25% more damage, more bonus versus large for him. But the Blunderbusses have gotten great damage, and now they're turning to fire at these Cold One Knights. No, they're just kind of losing sight of what's going on. They're just turning and not doing anything. So I think they got some confusing orders there for a bit. Blunderbusses retreating, trying to kite it out. Not a lot of safe space for them, though. The Bull Centaur Renders, oh, they slam down the Sorceress of Death while I wasn't looking. They're maybe going to shatter her or kill her outright. The Dark Shards are under a little bit of pressure for some Chaos Dwarf Warriors. As this last Dark Shard is still safe and healthy. Blunderbuss is firing at the Cold Knights who are now retreating. Dark Shards... Why did I call you Dark Shards? Bleak Swords. It's been a long night. Bleak Swords are chasing down the Infernal Guard with Fire Glaives. They're going to get peeled off by the Burning Head caster, who just cast his Burning Head, threw some Dark Shards, hits the other Dark Shards, and it's even going to hit the Helabroni before fading away. So that very high value, lucky Burning Head. Deathcaster is gone. It appears she's out of the game. Karth is very low, but the Bull Centaur Renders are opting back into the fight with the Helabroni, which is not the best place for them to be, as Dark Shards continue to offer support, and of course the Helabroni are just spearmen. Some Chaos Dwarf Warriors need new orders to go attack those Dark Shards that is currently shooting at their Lord. They do need to be microed a little bit there. Chaos Dwarf Blunderbusses getting chased off by the Blackheart Corsairs. They're probably not coming back this game. We're not really going to see them as these other Blunderbusses try and kill the Cold Knights before the Cold Knights come for them. Chaos Dwarfs are just behind in the balance of power, and I do agree they're just suffering too much attrition damage everywhere. These Bull Centaur Renders did good against the Sorceress of Death, but then after that, kind of fought in spears for too long and got killed by Dark Shards. Karth is once again diving onto the Sorcerer Prophet. Sorcerer Prophet gets away for now, getting poked by Dark Shards, as Blunderbusses and Fire Arrows try and kill Karth. I don't think Lord Sniping is even going to stop this game, though, against the Dark Elves. Dark Elves have high enough leadership that it's not like if Karth is dead, it's over. I am here now. Someone queue into Vermin League. Someone go fight Strat. Chaos Dwarf range is just going to get shut down now as we have a full health Cold Knight killing off the last of the Bull Centaur Renders. Then it's just going to roll through all the rest of what the Chaos Dwarfs have. This is really over at this point. Bounce Power just believes more in the Chorfs than I do. Karth lands. And as GG is last, the Chaos Dwarfs ranged gets pushed away. Fire Glaives are firing, but I mean, that's a full health War Hydra, for God's sakes. You're not doing anything against that. Well played by Karth. Wanky the Stanky, getting good value out of him, which is not something you get to say very often. War Hydra did okay. He was just disruptive. Like, he only got 172 value, but I saw him constantly running around and stopping Chaos Dwarfs from firing. So, he did fine. Rest of the Dark Elf front line held. Even got through some parts. Dark Shards did amazing. That's GG for Aya. His Lord did fine. His Burning Head casts were really on point. Bull Centaur Renders got a key snipe. His Blunderbusses did a lot of damage until one of them got disrupted for the rest of the game. And yeah, that's just rough stuff for the Chaos Dwarfs. Alright, I gotta go to bed. I have work in the morning. Thanks for hanging around, everybody who did. If you aren't subscribed, do that, because we're getting real close to 8,000, but I just need a couple more to send me over the lines. That would be great. If you don't feel like subscribing, then I guess just don't. Okay? Goodbye, everybody.